What's up, everybody? New Year's Eve. Come on. Where are you coming to me from tonight? Let's figure this thing out. It's time to have some fun. It is New Year's Eve. It's still 2021 here in California. I don't know where you are or what you are doing, but for most of the world, it's 2022. Welcome to the brand new year, everybody. Again, it's still 2021 here in California, so I'm going live. I'm here for you. We're going to be on for quite a while. Mariella, my friend, hello. She's in Santa Barbara, California. We're going to have some fun. So here's the deal. Let me know where you are watching from and say hello. If you want to join on the show, this is going to be different than anything that I've ever done. What I'm going to do, just in full transparency, is I'm going to basically just free flow for 4 hours. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about job search, of course, because lots of my audience is interested in how to find a job. So don't worry about that, guys. I got you covered. I'm going to be talking about it. It's 2022 in Cambodia. Yes, Happy New Year. If you would like to get on the show, come on. I'm going to be introducing this for just a minute. What we've got going on here, special edition. We're going to talk about job search. Going to talk about marketing. Going to talk about social media. Going to talk all kinds of fun stuff. I've got guests slated. Mariella, I'm going to get you the link here in just a second. In fact, here, let me just do this real quick, okay? So copy the clipboard. If you want to come on the show, Damon's here too. If you guys want to come on the show, I have to do this because I can't talk and type at the same time. If you want to jump on the show as a guest, click here. Now, if you see a photograph of a duck, don't click on that. What you want to do is you actually want to click on the link itself. All right, let's have to type this one more time. Okay, so if you click on that link, that'll bring you to my green room. We can have up to 10 people. So if you jump on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you questions. We're going to chit chat. That's all. Nothing major. But, you know, if you want to hang out for a while, I got Mariella here already. Here we go. Mariella, hello, my friend.
Hello. Happy almost New Year.
Well, yeah, it's New Year's Eve. You know, it's funny. Most of the world right now, it is already 2022 in your beloved Greece, even, right?
So, yes, already. And I'm in my third glass of Prosecco. Cheers, everybody.
Well, I got coffee going, but hey, whatever you're drinking, have some. It's okay. Oh. This is after hours networking. It's a lot of fun. I've been doing more and more shows after 5 o'clock here in California to reach some of my audience in the Middle East, India, and Africa anyway. So we're going to talk a lot tonight over this 4 hours. I'm going to be on for 4 hours. That's the plan. So I'm going to cover a lot of these things. I was going to go live a couple days ago, and then I started thinking about this show and go, okay, if I'm going to do that, then I'm not going to do both.
That would be, yeah.
Yeah, so one of the things I'm going to talk about tonight is how to find a job in a foreign country. Now, I'm going to wait until I've got some other people on for that. Damon is my friend from Exit Your Way. I actually used to work with Damon. Hello, Damon.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All right.
So Damon is we're all in the Pacific time zone. So for us, it's still 2021.
It's easy.
But obviously we're talking to people right now. Like if you're in New York City or in the Eastern Seaboard, it's 11:30. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to come on now. But also just in case if people don't know the rules of LinkedIn Live, and I'm sure many of you don't, I can't be on for more than 4 hours. So it was kind of one of those things, you know, I probably would have been on even longer, but I wanted to make sure that I was on at least when it turns midnight here. I thought, man, you got to at least do that, right? You can't have a New Year's Eve show that ends at 10 o'clock local time. It
doesn't do it. It doesn't do it. But you're brave. You're brave. I tried one of these 4-hour stints. I think it was at the end of 2020, and it was, you're brave.
Well, I can go 2 hours by myself. So I figured if I've got a couple friends who join in, and we're gonna talk about business risk, we're gonna talk about Exit Your Way, because Hey, I think, you're on the show. Let me reward you. So, just to set the stage for what the show is going to be, just for everybody who's joining and then wherever you're at, because we're on live, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. In fact, Marielle, your first note was from Facebook, right?
Yeah.
So,
It took a
anyways,
few seconds to kick in on LinkedIn, and then I jumped.
what's funny is usually what I do is I'll have like a screen, I'll make an image, and I won't even come on until I see that I'm on all three. But I'm like, you know what? No fancy images today. Just
Party.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, let's just get it. So today I'm going to talk about we're going to talk about fraud and risk because Marielle is on the show, and we're going to talk about selling your business and getting something for it. One of the things that boggled my mind, Damon, when I was working with you guys at Exit Your Way was the fact that 8 out of 10 business owners don't even sell. They put it up for sale and it doesn't sell. It's like that's a staggering number. So we'll talk about that too. I'm sure we've got plenty of people watching that are entrepreneurs because I reach out to them and so do you, and Mariella does too. So we've got plenty of those in the audience. I think when people are starting up, they don't think about what they're going to do to exit. But as I learned, it's important really to think about that from the very beginning, the way you set up your business and the way you think about, like, for example, the name Bowman Digital Media is actually not very smart. If I had already worked with you, I would that way because eventually I am going to have to rebrand, and so that's where I BDM a lot because that's going to be my plan. My plan is going to be to go from Bowman Digital Media to the acronym, so that when I go to sell, I'm not hamstrung by like, well, there's no Bowman here anymore, right? I mean,
Well, it could be branding, demand, marketing.
Yeah.
Or business. I thought about that, business digital marketing. So I mean, I could do that, but I think I'm just going to keep the acronym. That's my long-term play. But
well, and you've got a few kids. You don't know. You might have a multi-generational business here. I mean, with your family, you could actually. I mean, you could legitimately go 4 or 5 generations deep with it.
It's true. I've got one of them already as an intern, and I've got another one. He's getting ready to go to school as software engineering. He wants to learn how to code. So
nice.
Yeah, you never know. Although he's already talking about working for Amazon. So Hayward, California. I'm a Bay Area brat. So welcome from the Bay there, Hermosa. We're glad to have you. And anyways, let's do this. Mario, let's go like 3 minutes. What does Business Risk do? And just give them a little sizzle flavor of what you do, which services you offer there.
Yeah. I'm all about risk management. People don't understand risk. Risk comes in many forms, from being proactive when you start a business, researching every what if scenario and being ready when you hit the market as a business, to then fraud and cyber attacks and chargebacks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I had a Zoom call yesterday with a friend who owns a pretty big company, and he took me to his back end. And guess what? His back end doesn't have HTTPS. And I say, okay, you are dealing with millions of dollars coming in and out. You are begging for somebody to hack your back end. And his jaw dropped. He said, my tech guys didn't tell me that. I said, these are the what if scenarios. And nowadays, and I read a lot of European papers and American papers, we have about 2 million attacks per day.
Say that again for the people in the back.
Yeah.
2 million attacks per day. Cyber.
Okay, hang on a second, everybody. That's 2. And is that 6 zeros? Yeah, that's 6 zeros.
6 zeros.
That's a lot of zeros. 2 million attacks a day, Mario. I didn't know
T-Mobile was just hacked again today.
Okay.
So when I go and see people that are savvy and I check their passwords and I see their banking password, literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exclamation point. Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Don't do that. And never use the same password for banking, for social media, for games, for email. Have different ones.
Let me ask you this.
I gotta go change all mine right now.
Yeah, let me ask you this question right now. and I don't know if I even want to have this conversation live, but we're gonna have it anyways. Whenever I can change them, I typically use the dang auto thing now. You know what I mean? Like suggest it. Okay, so tell us why we don't want to do that.
Why you don't want to do that? One thing I keep telling people and they don't get it, most of us are using Chrome, Google Chrome. If you push, if you push Control H on your screen, you will see everything you have searched, every site you have been, everything you have done. A lot of people don't even know to delete everything every day before they close their computer. So if you tell a site and click a button, give me your password, that's stored somewhere.
Mariella, we need to have you on another show where we like totally deep dive into this because you're
absolutely. And I can share my screen and show you what you need to do and everything.
I think I'm not a novice at most of this stuff. I'm on the computer every day, and you're telling me stuff I didn't know.
Yep. Yeah.
So, yeah, I can only imagine the people watching are like, "What do you mean?" Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I've done something really quick, and then I stopped talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
I created an Excel sheet that has a password. Nobody can hack it. And I have alphabetically all the sites I need passwords to. And every 6 months, I rotate the passwords. And what do? I use other languages, but with the English alphabet, swear words, expletives, whatever you want.
Speaking of swear words.
Yay.
I mean, it's like
I'm not going to swear.
I'm
not swearing.
And I drive them nuts. And
I'm late because I had to get it all on my system. Happy New Year's, guys.
Hey, Happy New Year.
So yeah, I'd be happy to make an entire show about that with you.
Yeah, we definitely need to do that. There's no doubt
about how much I swear.
No, we're talking
that was
about
the second show.
Swear words I use for my passwords.
We're talking about some strategies on how to keep people safe at the moment. She's just introducing what she does, with fraud and risk protection. So.
Oh, gotcha.
All right, so we're going to introduce SPN in just a second, but first we're going to introduce Damon and what he's doing at Exit Your Way, which really I could probably do for him, but it's better if he does it because he knows it better than I do.
I wasn't going to wear my headphones because I was afraid I wouldn't look cool, but then Damon's wearing his headphones and he looks really cool.
I've got them.
I'm just old and can't hear good. That's there's nothing about being cool.
You know what? I don't know if I got mine set up.
Let's just change the subject. I'm about to start swearing.
When I wear my headphones, I don't hear my voice as well when I'm.
Yeah.
I don't wear my headphones because Ira makes fun of me.
That's not even nice.
I do.
I mean, if you look at the size of my head, it looks like the moon and the sun just are orbiting like a whole different planet or something. Just because I got this big headset, it looks weird. I gotta admit it.
Oh well.
But he has a new sexy logo, so he's all right.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
All right, so Damon Pistolka, co-owner of Exit, to be fair. What are they doing? What are they doing, and who do they help, Damon?
Well, we are helping business owners. Typically, a business is got employees and things like that. We're working with the owners and the executive team to get that business running well enough that that owner can sell or succeed that business someday. And when they're ready to do it, we help them do it. So that's what we do in a nutshell. We've got a whole process we do that we go through to, from A to Z to make it easy for that owner to walk through what they need to do to get it done.
Tina.
We got
hi to you guys.
We got a pants comment already, Mike. I mean, we took a break for like 18 months and we still.
Yeah, the pants.
You know what? I am actually wearing pants, but I'm not going to show them because they're pajama pants.
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you what, if SBN does get huge, I'll never wear pants except for pajama pants anywhere.
There you go. Wear whatever you want, man.
I'm weird now. I'll be eccentric then.
Yeah, exactly.
It just changes. You guys all knew I was a business broker. I mean, Damon and Ira.
Yeah.
I think that know for sure, right? But like,
you froze up a little bit, but yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry about that bad internet here. We got like a storm or something going on.
Ah,
Anyway, heading into the new year, this is a new year. Everybody likes to do resolutions, right? And they like to do things a little bit differently, right? As a business owner, if I was listening to this podcast, I think to myself, you know what? This is a good time to start planning my exit of my business if I haven't been already, right? When I sold businesses, that was like the biggest thing that I noticed is that nobody planned ahead. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And even if you're not planning to sell your business, I almost said the S word, it happens. You know what I mean? Stuff happens. Stuff happens. I
Yeah.
caught myself, right? But and you never know when it's going to happen, and it doesn't necessarily have to happen to you. Like I went to
Yeah.
sell a business, and I was unsuccessful in this one. I was like 2 for 3 in the businesses I listed and sold, and I guess 2 for 3 is pretty good. But I'm a winner, baby. I hate losing, right? But this particular business, the business owner had to sell quick because somebody in like New Jersey was having health issues and it was like a mom or a dad and they had to go take care of that person, right?
Yeah.
So they had to sell their business quick and they couldn't do it because they didn't even do their accounting right. They didn't do so many things right. And what ultimately came down to it is that they couldn't step away from the business and have somebody else run the business effectively, right? And I don't want to, ruin everybody's good time. We were talking about my pants. And I'm not just trying to change the subject because it makes me awkward, Tina, but I'm just saying, it's a January, heading into the new year here soon. Let's plan ahead, people. Speaking of planning ahead, do you guys got any big plans going into the new year? I had to put you on the spot.
Big plans. I've got 23. I hate to call them
plans. We're talking about plans, right? Not kids.
I hate to say that they're New Year's resolutions because they're not. They're goals. They're big, hairy, audacious goals.
I don't know why. Okay, well, we're gonna address this right now because I've let this slide 82 million times. I don't mind when people say big, hairy, audacious goals. Okay, hey Jahid, I hope you're doing well, sir. Thank you so much.
Mike keeps freezing.
When Ira says big, hairy, audacious goals, I just think it sounds dirty. I don't know. It kind of makes my toes crinkle up. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the competition that's with it, and people don't realize Ira and I don't know if it's a healthy competition. We'll just say it's a competition amongst friends, right? We have a competition.
We push each other,
huh?
We push each other. Sometimes sometimes it's off a ledge, but that's all right.
Sometimes that's why we have Mariella and Damon here. They've pulled us both back up off that ledge a few times. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing about win-win networking is sometimes two people can have a problem. You get that third person in there. It's kind of like scripture. They settled it out. Help you dust off the rocks, bring you back up the hill. We all have our bad days and spats. I mean, a lot of people don't realize this, right? But I'm not always the easiest guy to get along with. I'm kind of obtuse and here's the thing, Ira. Somebody called me fake today. I don't care what anyone says, but when it's like your ex-girlfriend saying you're just not funny anymore, that's never true. You know what I mean? I'm always funny.
Wait a minute. That hurts. You can call me just about anything else, but don't say I'm not funny because that's all I got, man.
You know what? People won't believe this, right? But I actually shut up sometimes, especially when I'm emotionally I don't know how to handle this, right? So, when some girls break my heart and walking out on me, I tend to just sit there and take it, because I'm a listener. I want to know what I did wrong. So that way next time I can do it better, right? But every time they say you're not funny, I'm like, this is it, man. I agree with you.
The gloves are coming off. Huh?
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Paul. Hey, if all of you are, let's just reset the room.
Hey, from Fiji. Hold on one second.
Yeah, that's cool.
Fiji. We got people in Fiji.
That's what I wanted to say. Hey, if you're just jumping in right now, it's 8:46 here in California. Mike is in Central Time, so it's 10:46 for him. None of us have reached 2022 yet. Most of you watching are probably somewhere where you're
I was in Fiji, okay, at this time on the first day of the year.
That's one of the things.
They tune in.
Yeah,
if I'm in Fiji,
I know they're not tuning in for us.
Yeah, but if I'm in Fiji and it's New Year's,
I'm not watching people.
No, I'm on the beach. Oh. It's the night. That nice breeze is coming in. I'm drinking some wine with my wife. It's a good time, man. This is. I can see that.
SVN goes viral before Dan sells it for me, right? or if it goes public, we're all going to
Yeah.
Fiji.
Well,
All
here's
my
the-
haters can watch us. We'll post images.
Here's the thing, and let's jump into this a little bit, right? Because Mike's on the show, and a lot of you might not know the genesis of my story, but Mike actually helped me understand the global network and how it could actually help me, right? So many of you are on social media. Let's say LinkedIn, just as an example. I don't want to say, I'm not coaching you how to do LinkedIn. I'm just going to use it as a hypothetical. Let's say you're on LinkedIn. And let's say you sell printers like I did back in 2018. And you have a territory that's like San Francisco, Bay Area. I mean, these are all hypotheticals. I don't know why I would bring those up. Okay.
Totally hypothetical.
You might have this idea that, hey, I don't need to connect with anybody outside of my territory because they can't ever buy my stuff. And that's how I used to think. Mike O'Connor down there at the SPN Mike guy, he's the one, we had a conversation and he helped me see a whole different way to utilize social media. And what he did was said, look, there's people that won't connect to you on LinkedIn or social media because why? You're a sales guy. They don't want you to sell to them. They don't want you to spam them. You hear that all the time.
Yeah.
But then if you connect to somebody who's outside your territory that the people you're trying to reach have connected to either second or third level, then when they react with your post, when you connect to them, then all of a sudden those people can now see your posts in their feed. And that was like an epiphany for me. Right? Remember that, Mike? That was I think
I actually brought that up for the first time in a while. The hashtag call me. Remember hashtag call me? That's actually what did it.
That's what it was.
Yeah. I was doing the hashtag call me, right? And I don't want to sound too much more pretentious than I usually am, but I'm going to say it, right?
That's hard to do.
No, I mean, I'm going to put this out there because when, I don't care. I'm going to keep it real because people call me fake and I just don't care. Right?
We got all kinds of people. Brian, I just talked to this guy, Brian. I just talked to this guy for the first time.
My condolences, Brian.
2 days ago, Mariella, we signed up for Al because Mariella's on Al. I said, hey, if Mariella,
is this the dude with that app?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna check out his app.
Al's kind of cool because if you're looking for consultations, let's say, for example, you.
Tell you what, if he signs up on my site, I'll sign up on his. How about that?
Well, here's what's cool. Yeah, Jason Hill's the guy's name. Here's what's cool about this thing, though, right? So if you want to talk to Mariella specifically about your fraud and risk situation, you can have a phone call via this app for like, what do you charge for 20 minutes, Mariella? $20, something like that?
$20, yeah.
Yeah, so for $20.
I mean, hold on one second. You can call somebody who's an expert in whatever.
Yeah. For 20 minutes.
Whatever your issue is, right? Like I looked at this app, so I my head all around it because I am ADHD squirrel.
Yeah, so I've got $20. Yeah, no, you got it. So I met this guy yesterday or the day before. We were talking about social media. He calls me talking about social media.
Can I ask you a question? What if I only want to call for 2 minutes? Do I pay for 2 minutes? Is like
I think the minimum is 10 minutes. I think
people know I'm cheap, but hey, I got a free social media site here. I mean,
I know you can extend it for 5, but I don't know. Can you call for 5?
I'm cheap.
Yes.
You can call for free. Because think about this, right? If I've dealt with a lot of businesses, right, and they all have different issues. Some of them have had fraud issues, right? And a lot of the time, you don't even know how to Google or find the answer because you don't know how to phrase the question, right? And then when you're talking with an expert and you're kind of like hee-haw, and you're dancing around the subject, that expert can tend to draw the right question out of you. Yeah. And that right there is worth the $20.
Yep.
We got my buddy Julia from Las Vegas. I haven't seen her in a while. So Julia, hello. Again, it's 8:51 p.m. in Vegas. Julia, are you out on the strip this year? I don't know what's going on. Tell me. Now, for those of you who don't know, I grew up in Vegas, so I have an affinity for what happens, the shenanigans that happen on New Year's Eve in Vegas. It's hard to beat. If you've never done it, you should try it sometime.
We should do it next year. Let's go live next year from Vegas.
We can make that happen. Actually, that's if you guys want to lock that in, I will definitely make that happen.
It depends how big the site gets. If it gets really big, we're going to
if you've never done it, it's something that you would never forget.
I don't know. I've been hit in the head a lot, and
my wife is like, I don't know if I'm down for that. My wife is standing right there.
Yeah.
Hi, Alicia. Happy New Year.
Hi, Alicia. Sorry I'm obtuse.
There she is.
Hi.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
She's all dolled up because I took her photos today. We did a photo session.
Yeah, those look great.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
so if you haven't seen those on Facebook, I put an album up with most of them, but and then the Instagram I just put one, but I'll put more later.
Cool.
Go grab a chair.
Yay.
I don't know
And
where-
blue is your color. It pops out your eyes. It's awesome.
Look at right there. Yeah, she stole. This is my daughter's shirt, apparently.
It wound up in my closet.
That looks nice.
I thought it was somehow mine.
Now, you want to know a funny story? So my daughter, we buy her everything. Like, you know what I mean? She's still on our booby, financial booby. That's what I meant to say. Anyways, we buy her
So
everything.
much better.
She got mad that my wife is wearing her
that sounds like a teaching moment to me.
Don't we
I didn't
hate
know we
that?
were going to have our family
You know,
drama
like,
dumps here.
My glasses.
Oh yeah, so the sunglasses in the photo. Now here's the deal: my daughter drives my car, which she calls her car. It's
Mhm.
my car. She leaves all her crap in my car. The console, like the seats up, the parking brakes on. There's garbage everywhere. Her sunglasses are there. My wife goes, "Oh, I'm going to use these in the shoot." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." I guess my daughter didn't like that either.
You
It is
find
good.
them, you keep them.
It's such as life.
Yeah, clean up your crap, especially in other people's cars.
All right,
See
I'm
ya.
getting out of here. I'm gonna go put pajamas on because I'm old.
Yeah, Mike's already got his jammies on.
I had my jammies on for the last 3 days.
That sounds good to
What are
me.
you talking about? Like, people keep getting confused. They're like, "Oh, this guy, he just wants to, take advantage of people and get him to click his ads first." Like, no, I just want a social media site so I can wear pajamas.
I saw something funny. Somebody said, "Come in business casual." So he went in shorts and a t-shirt, and they got mad at him for wearing shorts and a t-shirt. He's like, "Dude, I've been working from home for 2 years." And I'm like, "That is darn right." Because sometimes I'm wearing like my business in shorts. Like I don't have pants on all the time. I mean,
One time I was in Chicago, and I don't know if I should say it. Like, what's a different way to say C-suite network? Because it definitely wasn't those guys.
Oh,
Definitely
yeah.
wasn't the C-suite network.
leadership teams.
Yeah, some leadership. They were doing some kind of networking event for C-level executives in Chicago. And I was working with my plumber buddy just because he happened to call me. He's like, "Mike, can you come by and, help me move a toilet in Chicago?" And it's like my plumber buddy. And like I said, I'm cheap, right? So when I have a broken toilet, pay for it. Remember that time I helped you move that water heater? Come fix my toilet, right? So here I go help this guy fix the toilet. Now, 20 times in a row, I help this guy. No problem. This particular time, I get the backwash in my face, right? So it's not a good smell, right? I look about the same, don't smell very good. And I'm driving back through Chicago, not very pleasant. And I'm in my, at the time, my stepdaughter was driving my car and she damaged it pretty bad. You know how kids are with cars. So I have tape holding up the back window. It's all dinged up, right? My other car was in the shop. I mean, I look and smell like ass, right? And the charity I was working for at the time, like, "Hey, I was driving in from Iowa to Chicago for this charity event. I was doing some marketing for them. Like, Mike, I got a flat tire. Can you go by this event?" I'm like, "No, dude, I really can't." I'm like, "It's going to be horrible." I'm like, "Nobody would appreciate me showing up." And like, "Well, if somebody doesn't show up, they told us they'll pull the donation." The guy was really mad. And it was a lot of money for this little charity, right? So I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'll go," right? So it's on the Gold Coast in Chicago, which I don't know if you know, is like multi-million-dollar businesses, right? So I pull up. I pull up in front of like a little parking meter. Like I kind of like back up. I wasn't in the right spot, So I'm like totally illegally parking. I get out and start duct taping my window back up. So, I turn around and there's like all these people in suits and ties looking out like 12 windows at me. I'm like, "Well, this is the place, They made it sound like it was gonna be like just picking up a check, right? So I walk in, they're like, "Who are you?" And they're like making this, like, as I'm walking by, everybody's plugging their nose and stuff, right? And I'm standing there, and this is the power of LinkedIn, okay? This is like a couple years ago before we started getting a little bit more known. So I have no idea, like, if anybody here is gonna know who I am, right? And I'm literally like a bum, worst day of my life. And people start whispering, "That's Mike, the SPN guy." that's that guy from LinkedIn, right? And the next thing I know, they bring me into this suit and tie affair, and they're like, "Hey, can you go sit in the back?" And like the charity guy was supposed to be up in the front, on the big table, and everybody's looking at us and stuff. And I walk in the back, just smelling terrible, right? And everybody keeps looking back at me. And there's like 800 people in this place, right? And there was this, like, I don't know if it was the CEO, I can't remember, it's been a while, or the CFO of Rand McNally, right? And a few other big corporations are in here, big places, right? And they're giving this speech about what marketing looks like on LinkedIn, right? And they're talking about how you can network on LinkedIn. And you guys know how I am. I can't shut up if somebody's saying something stupid, right? I'm dressed in poop, smell like poop. And these people are talking. They're all in suits and ties. The guy next to me was like a venture fund capitalist or something like this, right? And they got Rolexes and diamond rings, and they put me next to like, I look like the dude from Monopoly. He's got like the little monocle. And I couldn't help it. I started piping up about networking, how they don't know what they're doing. And I get back to my home, like, well, the charity guy calls me. I'm like, I think this is going to be terrible, right? And they're like, we're getting more donations from our website. People are donating to. What'd you say? What'd you do, right? And I'm like, oh, that's crazy, And I go home, and like half the CEOs, half the accountants, half the people in that room started following me, even though I smelled and looked like poop because I made sense. This is the world we live in, right?
Hey, the power of video is we can all be as smelly as we want. Doesn't matter.
It was so bad. It was so bad. It was. I can't believe any of those people followed me or listened to me or even let me in the building. It was so bad.
Okay, we're gonna follow up that humorous moment. I mean, think about that. There's a lot there. We're gonna follow up with something a little serious.
No, I'm sorry I had to go so long in the story, and thank you for letting me.
No, that's okay.
Like,
look, we got 4 hours.
Some of those people still follow me. One of the guys, I'm not gonna mention his name because he's a professional, and I don't want to bring anybody down. You guys are on here your own volition, so.
I mean, look, that's what this show is. It's going to be some entertaining anecdotal stories. This is the time to go along for sure.
I just hope it doesn't get me committed again.
I just want to point this. I want to point this out. This is the kind of heart that this lady has, which I really love.
Something there. I was reading that.
Yeah, I love her. And for those of you who are unfamiliar, I was the kid that grew up. I didn't always have food in the cupboards, and I didn't always have a place to live. So when people are kind to the homeless or the hungry, that is something I just want to. I just want to.
I was dating somebody for a year and a half, right? And we pull up to this McDonald's in Indiana on the way to our beach, and there was this guy sitting outside, and he, looked like he needed a hamburger. So I went in and I grabbed our food, and I grabbed him like a $5 meal, right? And I'm getting back in the car. She starts fighting with me about the $5 I spent on the meal. Needless to say, I didn't make it to the beach that day. I turned around, went back and grabbed my stuff and moved out.
Yeah, I want to do this, Julia. If you're interested in starting a GoFundMe for this person, I'd like to make a contribution. So
hey, if I trust somebody that much, I'll get into it. For a good cause.
Yeah. So, well, I know this lady. I know she's not.
Well, hey man, if you vetted her, I'll donate some money. I'm not the richest guy.
Yeah, Julia. So if you make the page, I'll help advertise it, and I'll certainly I'll be the first to throw in some money. Let's do that.
Yeah, I'll be the second because he has to send me the link because he wants to be first.
I'll share the link. I'm going to share
the link. Always got to be first.
Hang on a second. I'm going to share the link on serviceprofessionalsnetwork.com.
There you go.
Okay, then
there you
go. Now all of a sudden,
now all of a sudden, mic drop.
Yeah.
We're cool again, Ira.
That Ira guy, he is.
I apologize again for the poop story.
Oh, Ira's so good. Hang on, I want to log in before. And if you guys didn't see it, if you're not familiar with SPN, I'm about to share it. But
all right,
Timothy Hughes. You guys have that debate about titles.
So, no, he just his thought process, and I understand, what he's saying, but maybe people need to understand what I'm saying is his thought process is great for people who already know him, right? For the long haul.
Oh yeah.
My thought people get introduced, perhaps.
You got to get discovered by somebody first, and that's the thing because like the people who. Okay, let me just ask you this, Damon. When's the last time you read my title? I mean, honestly. You know what I mean?
You don't really do it.
That's what I'm saying. So if they already know you, they're not really reading your title. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I changed my title to something today, like I'm the guy that helps people see things. I'm like the little blue pill walking with. I was in a weird mood. I made it like the Matrix joke or something, right? 3 people sent me positive messages about my title. 2 people were really upset about it, and 1 person went on this rant like 2 minutes after I made the title in one of my posts. I'm like, what is this guy talking about? He's like, you Tony Robbins wannabe, blah blah blah. It took me until like the 5th message to realize that's what it was. It took until like the 5th message for me to realize. I'm like, oh, this guy's been following. He's been connected with me until 2016, right? Like, you don't realize I'm the clown on LinkedIn already, like.
Well, I love your response, though. It's like, hey, now I've got room for one more. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, you can't take things personally. And like Ira will tell you, and Damon's pretty big. And look, if you get a couple thousand people looking at a post, even if you have like 4 connections, as soon as you get a little bit of attention, somebody's going to come at you sideways. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is.
I get trolled every single day, gaslight. Well,
you're opening up yourself to the world, right?
And try to gaslight me. Let me just say that it's really, really hard to get under my skin. I mean,
I got 2 lighters in each pocket, so try it.
There are people who do it every once in a while, but
I'm reactive though.
And for the most part, you can call me anything because I've been called just about everything there is. And up until really recently, most of my family had no idea what I was actually doing to make a living. So I think finally they all kind of get it now. Finally, but like most people don't realize I make 6 figures a year running social media. They thought I was playing all day, like
because hashtag call me.
Man,
I make more money than I've ever made in my entire life.
Ira and I talked for like, I don't know, Ira, what was it, a couple hours the first time you called me?
This was 3 hours. Huh? You know how I know it was 3 hours? Because I was leaving San Francisco and I had to commute home. And it was a 3-hour commute.
So this dude calls me, right? And he's like, if you think he's cocky now, he's actually more humble, right? He called me and he's like, I'm this top sales guy. I don't understand why I'm LinkedIn. And my post was really obnoxious, if you guys could believe that. It was really straightforward, really. I mean, if you can imagine. I think I was like, the post was something like, smart people call me, and then they're like, dumb people don't. Be smart. Hashtag call me. So Ira calls me. He's like, I want to see why you think you're so smart, right? And he's like telling me about how he's doing things. I'm like, wow, this guy's brilliant. If he wasn't like, coming off as really smart, I would have been like, what the hell, right? Next thing you know, we just hit it off, man. I'm learning things from him. He's learning things from me. And now he's got like 5 times more followers than I do. He helps the guys. He's got like an orbit on LinkedIn. You know what I mean? So like, if you don't follow Ira, first of all, you're not going to be able to see the guy who took my own information, just ran blocks around me. It doesn't make sense. Like, it's kind of like the exit planning thing I was saying. Because when Ira called me, he's like, why do I need to do this? I'm top of the world sales. And this is before the pandemic. This is before COVID, right? Yeah. And I challenged him. I said, like, not only do you want to, get your information out there to that 3rd degree connection, because you don't know who they know in your own backyard, right? But it's kind of like all the experts and the gurus. Like Ira wants to have, how many thousands of followers do you have on Instagram and YouTube? He's kicking my ass there too now. He's just beating me everywhere in my own game with my own tools. But I'm cool with it because he just said service professionals.
You're beating me on Twitter.
Yeah, well, come on, though. It's because I'm hilarious and I have no shame.
I've got to go, guys. Have a great night. Take it easy. Good seeing you. Bye.
So again, just in case you guys aren't familiar with Exit Your Way, you need to get familiar with it because Damon, and he didn't really talk about it, they help business owners to increase the value of their business and the way it runs. They basically take it from owner-controlled business to a business that manages itself with the owner taking a different seat. They go into the visionary role. And so they have somebody who runs the business, and then they have the owner in the leadership, visionary cast vision.
He's got a team.
And then when they're ready to exit, the business can sustain itself with the new person. But that's actually where I was going, Mike. He's got a whole slew of experts in different fields that do different things. So, like if you need legal help or social media marketing help or fraud and risk, all those different things. And much more. That's like all kinds of people can get involved to help as a consultant if needed, whatever you need. But Damon and Andrew, they spearhead it. And so, anyways,
Even if you don't have a business or you don't want to sell a business, I'm going to circle back, Ira, to the whole why you should network before you need a job thing, right? But this is the same thing with Damon, right? If you don't want to sell a business, you don't have to sell a business. Go look at his profile. He's got like 40,000 followers, but most of them are business owners. Most of them own manufacturing companies. He has people that sell like 10 million Amazon. Like if you want to do business or you want to meet a business person, Damon's probably the one person in this group, no offense, Ira, that you got to talk to because he has personal relationships with really high level executives and business owners.
That depends on what you want to do. I mean, I'm connected to.
That was just poking you.
Who knows how many thousands of CEOs? But you and I have talked about this before, and I've talked about this with a few other people. Like, the title doesn't necessarily mean what you think it means, right? A CEO is like a guru. What does that actually mean? Because
you could be come on, I'm a CEO of service professional.
Right. If they're self-employed,
let's face it, I'm not making a website. We got 19,000 people on it, but until you start making money, who really cares if you're a CEO?
Well, I mean, but again, if you're self-employed or you got two people working for you, you know what I mean? It's not the same thing as the CEO of a major corporation. And what you just said,
there's levels to it.
Yeah, what you said is 100% correct. Damon has a lot of connections with the presidents and the owners of larger corporations.
The big dogs.
Yeah.
The big dogs. So so
everybody can help you in certain ways on social media.
Beyond, like, you don't even know what doors can be opened, right? Until you're in that position. And what I tell everybody, I think I told Ira this is in this first phone call. It's like, you haven't hit 10,000. He was at like 9,000. I said, dude, when you hit 10,000, as soon as you roll over from 9,999, people start to treat you a little differently. At 15,000, they start treating you a little bit. Ira, you may not be there. I mean, because like people treat Ireland totally differently.
Yeah. But let me tell you, when I first met,
people will have this guy in there,
I had 1,520 followers.
Was that it?
I had 1,440 connections. So 100 people that were connected to me weren't.
I remember it wasn't a big number, right? And you're like, why do I need this? Do you know how many people, like, okay, over the last 6 years, right? When I first got onto LinkedIn, I was doing it just for an orphanage and my brother's water restoration company, right? I raised like we raised like $700,000 for an orphanage in Guinea just through networking, fundraising, and stuff like that. We raised hundreds of thousands of dollars off of LinkedIn. That's when I was like, dude, you can do whatever you want if you have a big network. That's when I was like, I mean, we were fortunate enough to have some really big network people support us because they were from Africa. It was a good cause. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different when you're raising money for a good cause versus trying to sell your business or trying to open a business or get noticed for the first time, right? So there's, whatever your schlick is, that's gonna affect it, right? Your goal, your story, what you're trying to do for people, right? So I mean, all that comes into play. But during this whole time, right, Ira's gone from 1,500 followers to 196,000, right? Now he makes six figures working for himself, taking clients, opposed to having a job. You're working for somebody else. Do you know how many people in my Facebook friends list, family, friends, that I say, hey, you got to get on LinkedIn? And they're like, well, I don't need a job now. I said, well, you got to do it now. So that way, if you do need a job, you already have a network. People already know who you are. I don't want to do it. Don't want to do it. Right. Well, when the pandemic hit, you'd be surprised how many people reached out to me. Right. And when you're in that position, everybody in the country, and granted, nobody knew that was going to come. So it was a little bit extreme. Right. But if you don't build something, it's kind of like a retirement fund, right? If you don't have a big network, or if you're not actively engaged in that network, it's kind of like planning your exit. You got to have something there. And so if something does happen, you're already, ready to go. So always be networking.
Well, let me speak to this a little bit. So I have 197,138 followers as of this moment, right? Whatever.
How many?
Well, yeah, it's on the screen. 197, 138.
Okay.
I like to show people, because then it's like you're not just saying something. It's like, here, let me show you.
Think about how many people that is.
If you put in the work, you will get there.
Well,
you don't have to do a lot of work.
Here's what I want to say about it, okay? if you're not retired, if you're working, or if you're starting a business, or you're a job seeker, wherever you are in that spectrum, there is no scenario, none, as long as you're still trying to make money, where having a large network hurts you.
Never.
None.
Well,
But-
unless you post stuff like I do.
Well, if you're looking for a job, if you're looking for clients, if you're trying to raise money, if you're trying to get people to buy in to your business, buy your products, whatever it is that you're trying to do, a social network can help you get there. Why? How? Simple. What is it? This expression is people don't remember what you said, but they remember how you made them feel, right? Social media, if you're doing it right, and this is where the spammers get it completely wrong, and I'm going to talk about this in a second because this is important. Too many people are hitting that auto DM box and email box with these, they're brilliantly crafted, messages they think,
But it doesn't apply to everybody.
they send them out in mass, and it just does nothing but piss people off. I mean, that is what it is. You can say whatever you want. Yes, some people do buy from them, but you're irritating far more people than you are gaining. But here's the thing: if you do social media right, if you use your posts right, if you make your comments in a strategy that's win-win, which is what keeps drawing me back to SPN, because Mike and I we have a similar philosophy here, right? I help you, you help me. It's not all me giving and all you taking, or all you giving and me taking. It doesn't work that way. Life
it's
works
like
better.
any relationship. You have deposits and withdrawals.
Yeah, I'm in a group that calls it this way. They say the law of equal exchange, right? That's how they would phrase it. And I would say, and they do too, that's even better to have an abundant exchange. But however you say it, win-win network, equal exchange, however you want to say it.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah, the idea comes back to this. You don't be a jerk. You be a giver and a taker. You help. Like when Mike makes a post, you're going to see Mariella and I in the comments more often than not. Not every time. We're not in a pod. We don't need to be in a pod. We like Mike. Mike says good stuff. He says helpful stuff. We're going to be in it. And Mariella, when she makes a post, guess what? More times than not, you're going to see Mike and Ira in that post. But here's what really happens. In these posts, we get to learn who you are and how you think and what you do to help people. And then we meet other people on wherever we meet them. And they go, hey, I really need somebody who can help me with my risk assessment because I just got hacked. My company server got hacked. And you know what happens to me? Every single time. Mariella, you need to talk to Mariella. Yeah. And that I could do it in face-to-face. I could do it over the phone. I could do it email. I could do it social media. Comment, it doesn't matter. I met Mariella online. I learned all about what Mariella does online. And now that's a part of my cataloged memory. When someone says, anything about fraud or risk assessment, I automatically think, hey, Mariella, maybe she can help. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing. Like Mike and I, when we met, I was doing print sales, right? And so if somebody needed print help, he'd send them my way. Now, guess what? I run Bowman Digital Media. So now when people don't know how to run their own social media marketing for their business, Mike goes, hey, you know what? Maybe you should talk to Ira. He can help you. He's got 195,000 followers or whatever Mike says.
I got a flat tire once in Florida off in the middle of nowhere, right? And I made a tweet about it. And one of my LinkedIn people happens to follow me on Twitter, right? So before I even got the phone number for AAA, because I couldn't get my Wi-Fi to work past the tweet, right? I get a phone call. And it's like, hey, this is Joe. I'm friends with Bob. Bob saw your tweet. He likes you. He told me to come help you with your
That's so cool.
car. I'm like, tell me that. You know what I mean? This guy was ready to drive 47 miles for a person. Like, not, he didn't even know me. He just somebody else that knew me on LinkedIn. I happened to get the car running again before he got there. So, but I mean, think about that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm other side of the country, and some dude's ready to come help me with my car.
Yeah, it's so cool. And that's just, look, that's just one example. There's lots of examples I could give you in my own life. I took my kids before my daughter got sick over the summer. We went to Newport. It wasn't Newport Beach. It was another one. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Anyways, we're over at the beach, and I got my camera, taking pictures. My kids are there, we're having ice creams and all these things. And I get a DM on Instagram, and one of my followers goes, "Hey, man, I think I just saw you."
How wild is that, right?
Yeah, and he's like, "Are you here?" It's bothering me that I can't remember where it was, but anyways,
I can't remember what was wrong with my car.
he goes, "Were you there?" And I go, "Yeah, you should have come up and said hi." He's like, "Well, I didn't want to bother you. I knew you were with your family. I didn't want to." I'm like, so that's exactly the kind of people and relationships that you're building, right? It's a respect thing.
It's really you don't know how to explain it to people. At least I don't. Like, I mean, there's so many open doors, right? And going back to the people that were like I was telling for years,
He keeps freezing.
get on LinkedIn networking, get on LinkedIn. A lot of them are still looking for jobs, still haven't got on LinkedIn. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand it.
Well,
like
let's talk about this too, because it's important. Now, you have on SPN a job board.
Yeah,
and I mean, just about everybody in the world at this point knows that I run Project Help You Grow. If they don't, I don't know where they've been. But here are 2 places where you can
jobs
get
and
help.
resumes.
You can get help. Put your job up. People ask me, what good would it do me to be on Project Help You Grow? Like, to build an actual profile. And I go, first of all, you don't have to have an account to use Project Help You Grow. You can go to the blog, and that's the first thing I tell everybody to do. So don't make an account. Go read my blog. Why? Because I'm going to teach you how to do everything, including what I'm going to teach tonight, how to find a job in a foreign country. It's all right here in the blog if you read it. And then if you don't like to read the blog, just watch my podcast.
I mean, what else more do you need?
Everything else, everything that's in the blog is covered in the shows, right? So anyways, but
you learn most of this job stuff.
But I tell people, I said, look, this is the deal. If you create a candidate profile on, I'm just going to show you my wife's here, okay? If you create a candidate profile on Project Help You Grow, what do you get to do? You get to share your links. Here's her website right here, okay? And then she's got her social media on here. Now, she has others, but she didn't want to make them public. Okay, whatever. But she can share anything she wants publicly, just like Linktree. So now you're boosting your social media presence for free. There's no ads. There's no spam. I mean, this is as clean as it gets. Come over here. Do the exact same thing. I'm going to show you guys my profile here on.
Just click on the top right. Yep.
There we go. Okay, so I'm clicking on that. Look, this is me.
That's pretty fast.
Check this out. Everything, like, here's my LinkedIn, here's my Facebook, here's my Twitter, here's my company, Bowman Digital Media, right? Like, all these links. If you're on Linktree or SocialTap or anything like it, and you're not on SPN or you're not on Project Help You Grow, my question to you is why?
Why?
You're paying $6 a month maybe to use LinkedIn or I'm sorry, Linktree or SocialTap, and you could get that stuff for free on SPN and Project Help You Grow. But I'm not saying don't use Linktree. You can use Linktree, but
I use Linktree.
Yeah, use this one too. Because
you should use them all. It's like bumper stickers for the bands. Remember all the band bumper 100%. Stickers you used to see every place? You should be putting your bumper sticker everywhere. It's just like that. You should. It's
the term is
marketing, man. You should be putting it everywhere you can go. Hey, and would you mind scroll up to the members tab? I want to talk about something.
Yeah, sure.
Because if you're out listening to this podcast, okay, and you sign up on Service Professionals during this podcast or over the next couple, if you ever mention Project Help You Grow or Mariella or somebody that's already in SPN, I'm going to put you in the featured members section, right? So in the featured members, if you log in once a week, or you will be rotating on the sidebar of the website. So we have days where we have 50 to 100,000 page impressions. So that's a lot of free marketing for nothing. And if you hit the 3 dots right up there by the scroll,
that guy is so good looking.
I can't believe you're third.
I like that we are on the left corner.
If you hit the 3 dots and go to featured members, sorry,
I'm just...
Mariella, I want to get everyone to get this right now. We were talking about how we get to know people, I have 19,000 people on my website right now. The website will only show you 3,000 to 4,000 because it only shows you the people that logged in the last 30 days, right? But we have 19,000. We get 50 to 100,000 people. You might recognize some of these people from LinkedIn.
I know.
But if you, why? That's your client. Why didn't you send him a friend request? He's a
I
featured.
just did.
So when you go down the featured member list,
I
right?
could compute us on all of them, honestly, but
If you join my website, okay, through this, I will make you a featured member. So let's say this site gets 1 million users next year, which is my goal, right? I'm going to close the featured member section permanently
hey, is that
by
a big,
February
very
1st.
audacious goal? I think it is.
No, it's true. That's what's going to happen. It's not even a goal.
I think it's a goal.
Jacob Warren built a great website here with Warren Research. I mean, the guy.
Hey, we can't give him any run. He's not on the show.
Well, you know what? It's New Year's. He's building my site. Anyway, what I'm saying,
Jacob's a great guy.
he does high court. I'm spending more money on servers and hosts than I've ever spent in rent or mortgage payments. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of money. I need you to sign up, people, please.
But let me tell you, it's a lot better than it was. There is no doubt about it.
I need to sign up. No, I was kidding. But my point is, I'm closing the featured member section on February 1st permanently. There will be no more featured members. I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to give it unless like you're somebody I really, really like, right? I'm going to close it. So get in now, right? Because if there's 1 million people on that website, think about how many daily views we're going to get. I mean, my goal is top 10. This is the big audacious goal, not the 1 million. That sounds like a big goal, but it's really not. My big goal by 2023, I want to be in the top 10,000 of all the websites in the world, right? By 2024, I want to be in the top 100. Those are my two really big audacious goals.
I'm pulling up.
Believe it or not, you can't have 1 million people know who you are. Huh?
Hang on a second. I'm pulling it up. You guys got to check this out. I'm actually going to run it live. Why not?
What's it?
I made this video for Mike. Here we go.
How many views does it have? 88. I bet you it's going to have a lot more views. I'm putting some links out there here tonight or tomorrow. You know, it's New Year's, so we're a little bit slow, but it's going to have thousands of views.
So on this video, it's a little how-to guide. It's 2 minutes. So if you join SPN, create your account, then I'll teach you how to make a bunch of friends. Why do you want to make friends on SPN, Mike?
Well, because those people are all on LinkedIn, and the ones that aren't on LinkedIn, like there's a guy who's not on LinkedIn. He has 160,000 followers on YouTube. You know, I mean, if you want to learn how to do YouTube, who are you going to talk to? The guy with 160,000 followers that still wants more likes. He still wants more subscribers.
Yeah,
you know, win-win, right?
I think people need to understand that. Like SPN is a depository where you can get your backlinks out in your profile, but then also it's a place like Mike says it this way all the time. We're all little rats looking for our cheese, right? So you can get more engagement.
The cheese, baby. Give me the cheese.
Yeah. Give me the cheese, right? So you put like you got a tweet out there. I do a graphic design. I do a video. I make a post on wherever. It's like, hey guys, if you're interested, you know, here's my latest whatever.
Some people get offended by that analogy, but let's face it. Let's keep it real, right? Unless you're ultra wealthy. We're all online, especially on LinkedIn, to make our lives better, right? And everybody and their mother is selling a course. Everybody's doing ebooks, right? I mean,
well, again, if you're a job seeker,
a lot of people say a lot of mean things to tell people to jump in a lake, right? But at the same time, I don't sell courses. I don't sell ebooks. I'm willing to give anybody the information that I have, right? And if you can't look at my website and think to yourself, wow, this guy kind of knows the internet a little bit, I don't know what to tell you, man. The problem's not with me.
But again, for those of you,
I got other problems, but that's not.
But somebody who goes, I'm not in sales, I'm not an entrepreneur, but you build your network then, because when you're looking for a job, you're going to know more people. I actually had somebody on a post 3 days ago. He said, has anybody ever found a job by being a part of your network? And I said, thousands of them, actually.
I saved lives.
And
I saved 3 or 4 lives, right?
Yeah, so, well, we definitely helped with the one for sure.
Yeah,
right?
Well, let me think about it.
So here's the thing, though. This is what people don't understand.
Save lives with that stuff.
You network when you don't need it, so that when you do need it, you can use it. And the people who get it, get it.
Same thing with that plumber. Like,
But
that's why I changed the toilets for him. So that way, if
Yeah.
I have a broken toilet, no money, I can call the plumber and be like, hey, buddy, remember that favor you owe me?
hang on a second.
Sorry.
I lost my job. I mean, lost it. Got laid off in 2020. I have got 8 kids. I feed 10 people. Okay, that's a lot of responsibility. I feed 10 people.
I can't
I
even
did
feed
not
myself.
have to. I did not have to borrow not one single penny from anybody. I didn't have to go ask for a loan from my bank. I didn't have to sell a car or take a second loan. I didn't have to do any of that. Why? When I met Mike O'Connor, I had 1,520 followers.
And a job.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had 1,520 connections, 1,400 followers. Okay, I had a job.
That's weird. You have less followers than
Right. That's why I remember it. Okay, now here's the deal.
connections.
I built my network over a 2.5-year period of over 150,000 people, from 1,500 to 150,000. You do the math. That's a lot of.
I didn't know you were upside down. That's hilarious.
But what happened the minute I lost my job? I had options that I would have never had if I hadn't have built up my network. Let me just tell you, I'm just telling you from my point of view. I went from being a life over 2 decades plus of being an employee, to in a position where I had an option to open my own business. And when I took that option, I didn't have to spend very much money at all. I only had 12. I'm just going to be completely transparent with everybody. I had $12,000 in the bank. That's all I had. I had to pay my mortgage still. I had to pay all my bills. I still had to feed my kids. I had all that stuff.
That's so much stuff.
So
it goes fast.
I had 12 grand. Well, I also had the startup cost of the business. And I spent $3,000 on computer equipment, just to be completely blunt. Okay. So, but what did I do that very first month? Because I had built up for 2.5 years my social media network. I paid all my bills. I earned enough money to pay all my bills and cover my bills that first month. And that first 6 months, I didn't make quite as much as I would have if I had kept my job, but we didn't still the whole time didn't have to borrow any money, didn't have any extra debt, was able to pay everything and keep going. Then the next 12 months, you know what happened? I broke 6 figures in a 12-month period. Then I broke it 6 figures just for the whole year. And now I make more money than I've ever made in my life. And
Crazy,
that
right?
didn't happen because I got new skills. It did. I don't have any new skills, guys. I was in graphic design a long time ago. I was making videos at California Survey and Drafting Supply before
It's
I
not
left.
what you know.
It's who you know. 100%.
It's who you know.
I increased the network. And then when I lost my job, I had people in my network. They were reaching out to me. Hey, you got some free time on your hands. Can you build my website? Can you make a video? Can you do some GIF for me? Right?
You made like 800 gifts. It was crazy.
I made like 800 that month of
You
June.
monetized your talents.
Yeah. So
when I lost my job.
But it gave me options, right? If I didn't, let's just look at the scenario. If that had happened, May of 2020, I get laid off by ARC because they weren't smart enough to realize how valuable my social media network was. I mean, it's like really stupid because I have more connections than everybody in that company combined. But hey, that's good. I'm glad that you don't see the value.
That still blows my mind.
It's amazing.
It blows my mind.
Hey, whatever. So I get laid off. What would I need to do? I would have had to go and find another print company to hire me. And what was that going to necessitate? Another move. I had just moved here 5 months. I was laid off after starting with ARC the second time. I worked for them twice. But anyways, the second time I had started 5 months prior. So now I'm going to have to tell my family, hey, we got to move again because daddy lost his job. I mean, that was
you took my advice and called me.
That was going to be awful. But this is what I'm trying to tell people about. Build your networks when you don't think you need it, because there might come a time where you do need it. But also, don't.
The best time to make friends with a plumber is before you have a plumbing incident.
Job seekers, entrepreneurs, authors. I don't care if you're, owning a business. You're in marketing. People in marketing who don't use social media. I just don't get it. Real estate agents. I mean, all of you. I've got for clients. I've got attorneys. I've got 2 junkyards as clients. Okay, recycles plants. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be amazed and almost everybody can use social media if you really know what you're doing, or you hire somebody who does for you.
I
Right?
connected with somebody that ran for president on LinkedIn.
There you go.
Think about that.
I get excited when I connect to, like, I'm connected to Lincoln Kennedy, of all people. You know, that is,
The person that told me not to tell anybody who. Don't tell me. I'm not supposed to say who I'm connected to.
I'm connected to a lot of cool people, but the
I
sports,
wouldn't want people to know either.
the sports guys are the ones that I get excited about because I'm a
The
sport.
Trent Dilfers and the Barry Sanders and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know what I did is I went to 2015 or so. I went to the NFL page and the Major League Baseball page, and I just started following all the employees and connecting with all the employees. The next thing,
Well, I tagged.
I got all football flavor. I used to do.
I tagged the Raiders.
Huh?
I've tagged the Raiders in posts probably like once a month.
I tag people obnoxiously all the time.
I'm a Raiders fan. If you couldn't tell by the colors of my logo, you know what I mean.
We don't all have taste.
And your lovely tie.
Yeah, did you see that? I put that on Facebook. I didn't put that on LinkedIn. But all right, Mariella, let's do something. Let's talk about ageism a little bit. I hate ageism. In fact, I hate just about every form of discrimination that there is on this planet. I think
It's because I hate the stupidity behind it too. I mean,
the whole thing. But Mariella has a brilliant idea, and I kind of want to talk about that if you're cool with it, Mariella.
Absolutely, of course.
So I'm gonna set it up, and then Mariella can dig into it a little bit deeper. But the idea is basically this. The premise is this: if you have a company that's run by people that are like my generation or even younger, because there are plenty of people in the 20s and 30s now that are running departments or running companies, instead of shying away from our most experienced workers and not hiring them because they're short-sighted and they think, oh, I don't want my insurance costs to go up. I don't want my benefits packages to go through the roof. What Marielle is suggesting is that they would hire them kind of like mentors. You go, okay, teach me the things that I'm not going to learn in a book, and teach me the things that I'm not going to learn on this tech, but that real world experience. And okay, so we have this tech and it does it this way. Like, for example, the save icon is an old floppy disk. And a lot of people wouldn't know that the save icon is an old floppy disk if they're, like 13. They just know that's the picture they click when they want to hit save. But they don't know it's a floppy disk. You know what I mean? But Marielle is saying, they can learn the back end history of why things are the way they are. And then that might be able to help them propel themselves forward. I think you froze again, Mike.
Anybody can watch this. Smarter they are now than they were when they were a kid. And I'm not beating up on kids now, right? And I'm not saying don't hire young people, right? But you never know, like, just by looking at somebody, what they can teach you, And people don't realize, like, I'm obnoxious on purpose because I know what I can do on the back end of things, right? So a lot of times you don't really know who you're talking to or what they can do for you until you give them a chance.
Absolutely.
Good job. So, Mariella, tell me a little bit about this. How would this work? Would this be like you would build a...
Okay. Let me go from the beginning.
Yeah.
I watched a movie that I loved, and I watched it for the second time. It's with Bobby De Niro, and it's called The Intern. And he's...
That's right.
Yeah. And he's a veteran. He's in his 60s. And in the movie, the premise is that the government made new companies by law hire interns that are older. They had to do it. And all of a sudden, I went, okay, I lost 32 jobs because I was going, talking, explaining, and the guy or the lady that did the interview was doing that. They weren't even looking at me. They were on their phone. They weren't even listening.
Don't you hate people? I mean, like...
Yeah. So when a 30-year-old CEO looks at me, they think, ooh, it's my grandma. What people have to start realizing is that what we have today, whether it's called LinkedIn, internet, space stations, was done by us. And when they come to our age, they will have brought society to the next level. So there is a lot of us who don't want to be pushed away by society because it says, it's not cool, she's over 50. Okay, then how about you hire paid interns that I would call life/professional veterans? Let them show you what they have for 6 months, a short contract. You don't have to give them big salaries. You don't have to put them in your 401ks, and sit and see how much you can learn.
I wrote an article called "Fractional Work" on Project Help You Grow, and I'm going to pull it
Mhm.
up because
Yes.
it speaks 100% to this. In fact, if you guys have not, well, here actually I'm going to do something a little bit different. Here's one that I wrote: Counterpunch Ageism. And what Marielle is talking about is 100% true. You can hire people on contract, not as employees. So they're 1099, not W-2.
That
And
sounds like
now
a win-win.
it's totally a win-win because you get, and everybody says this joke. They want to hire somebody with 30 years experience who's 25 years old, right? It's impossible.
Exactly.
Think about that. But this is a way that you can do a couple things. When you hire somebody on what we call fractional basis or 1099 contract basis, when you hire them that way, you don't provide any benefits because they're technically self-employed. They're working for you as a contract or a vendor. So
You
you're
don't even pay the EDD anything. It's all
right,
on.
right. So by doing that, you get to have access to their experience. You don't have any liability for their health. And if you really are curious about an employee, like how much energy do they have? Mariella will tell you that she's planning to work for at least another 10 years, at least another 10 years.
Yeah.
Now, anybody can say that, but if you bring Mariella on for 6 months and you see that she still has a 30-year-old and she's really, really sharp, which she is, you'd be a fool not to bring her on full time after that. It's kind of like having a 6 month trial, and it doesn't have to be 6 months, by the way. These contracts can be however long you want them to be. They can be 12 months, they can be 24 months. They don't have to even have a time limit. They could just be, we're going to pay you X amount a month for, however much work, and then it can automatically extend and roll over. So I wrote this article. The reason why I'm showing it is I define what ageism is in case you guys are not familiar with this concept. But it's an illegal practice in the United States. Now, in other countries, it actually isn't. So in some places, they force you to put your age on the CV. In the United States, we don't do that, obviously. But I give you 4 reasons why ageism is stupid. Like, just forget about it being illegal. I debunk it. Okay. But then also, I give people strategies on how to overcome it to get to the interview phase. You can't really help. Like, if you listen to what Mariella just said, she was in an interview and the guy was not looking at her. He was just looking at his phone the whole time, which is a dick. This advice isn't going to help you with that. I mean, if you're dealing with an idiot, you probably don't want to work there anyways. But it at least gives you a puncher's chance. But the other thing that I have in here in this blog that I want you guys to read, because it's starting to get a little bit buried. It's right here. Increase your income with fractional work. And that's honestly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So this helps not only people like Mariella, who can't get a full-time job because people are too stupid to see her value, but it also helps people like me to make more money. For example, if I told you how much money I make right now, you'd probably spit whatever you're drinking out and go, really? You make that much money playing on social media all day? Yep, I probably make more than you do. That's probably true. How? Well, part of it is because I'm not working by the hour anymore, and I don't have one company paying the whole thing. I have 40 clients, guys. So I have 40 different companies paying me a fraction of my salary. When you add it all up, those 40 parts are a hell of a lot more than what ARC was paying me. So
And that makes total sense.
They did me a favor by laying me off, even though they told me they weren't going to, and then they told me they're going to bring me back. And neither of those things turned out to be true. Am I bitter? A little bit, but that's okay. Because again, I'm not gonna shy away from this. I make 2.5 times what I was making at ARC. 2.5 times.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm almost afraid to keep talking on this show, man, because your friend Julia just made a comment about how I have medical and mental problems. This is why I don't get on these things.
No, she's not talking about you, dude. She's talking about the guy she helped.
Oh, I was like, that's not nice. I was like, what the? Like he's trying so hard. I'm like,
You've totally misread that, man. You got to keep
I
going
was
up.
pissed. I was like, I'm like, what the hell is that?
The guy that she gave her money to instead of the
Oh,
money.
I apologize. I have anxiety about stuff. You know what I mean? I get attacked so much. I'm like, well,
She would have gone out tonight, but instead she donated the money that she was going to use to go out.
Well, I'm glad I asked. I was like, what the hell's, you know?
Yeah, no, she's telling.
Every time I get on one of these things, somebody says I got mental problems. So sorry if I was a little bit triggered by that.
That's all right. Well, now you know. See, what'd you say? 3 people in and they fix it all up.
Huh? Well, hey, aren't you glad that I brought it up though? And I didn't just get off.
Yeah, because now you know. Yeah, no. So she's describing the person that she helped, and that's the person that I offered to give.
Well, we talked about so much. I'm gonna have to apologize to her because, like,
that's all right. She's not, dude. She's so nice. I don't know that you could offend her, but she's salt of the earth type.
You know where I'm coming from, Ira. I have a habit. Like that's why I don't like to do these lives. I got so many people on LinkedIn. I forgot that was that same lady.
Yeah, no, she's totally cool.
Yeah,
but the fractional work.
Sorry, man.
For any of you business owners that are out there that you really do want to hire somebody with experience, you're just like, hey, I don't want to accept the liability. Medical costs are going through the roof as it is, even with healthy people. Well, fractional work is one way to incorporate Mariela's idea and this blog.
That's all I did for years was fractional work. $100 a pop, $200 a pop.
Yeah. And I don't know, I want to create a group or something on LinkedIn.
This is what I wanted to talk to you about because I think this would be helpful, Mariela. So what we could do, maybe create a group on SPN. We keep talking about groups on LinkedIn.
Well, you can create a group on SPN.
We can create a group. We can create a group on SPN. But here's the thing: if we had a directory that people could join, hey, I'm interested. I'm 50 plus, whatever, right? Here, I want to add my name, and this is where I am, and this is the skill set that I have. And then we have the same employers could check it out and go, hey, can I have access to the list? Because I'm in Des Moines, Iowa, and I need somebody who's good at whatever you fill in the blank.
Yeah, and now with remote work, you can be anywhere. I can help somebody in China, in Australia, in Germany, in
here's another thing.
He's trying to get 1 million people to join this site in the next 12 months. So
I gotta stop getting so defensive and people trying to help.
That's a lot of people, right? When you start,
it's compounding though.
I didn't.
It's compounding, right? Like if you take a penny.
No. That's what I'm saying. But that's the thing with this list. The more people you get.
Wait until we get the affiliate program, dude. Think about this.
When I was building Project Help You Grow, honestly, the hardest part for me in the beginning was having trouble getting people to sign up as a candidate because I didn't have any jobs. And Mike and I actually talked about that a lot. He's like,
I don't have any jobs on my site now, just a handful.
Dude, you need to get more job listings. So I kind of switched gears for a minute. And then when I got that deal set up with ZipRecruiter and I started getting all their jobs, I was like, okay, now we've got a whole different ball game. Because now I went from having I think I had like 500 jobs at a time or 1,000 jobs at any given time on Project Help You Grow. But then I had millions of jobs. And it didn't matter where you were in the United States. I had something for you, right? Yeah. So when that happened, then guess what? The candidates started to sign up for my website in droves. And then guess what happened? The recruiters started to come in droves. I connected to over 5,000 recruiters in 2019 on LinkedIn because of the work I was doing on Project Help You Grow because they wanted to use the website for free. And I'm like, you don't have to connect with me. You can just use it. But they didn't know that, right? So they would connect with me and then they would use it. But anyways, if you do the same thing with this directory, you got to get employers to say they'll use it, but they're going to say, well, who do you got? Because that's what was coming. That's what happened to me in the beginning. I got recruiters who would say, okay, I'll take a look. Remember I had those FYI pages in the beginning? So it was FYI, and I had like 8 of them, right? Like per continent. And then they're like, well, we can't search this easy enough. We need something dynamic. I'm like, okay. So that's why the website got built. But When recruiters came too soon, it was hard for me because I didn't have the candidate base that they were looking for. But when the candidates came, I didn't have the jobs they were looking for. So I had to get past that. So, maybe by doing it on SPN and doing some promotional stuff on social media channels.
What would you name a group like that? I was thinking something like professional veterans, or I
We need
don't
to-
know.
I'll do
we
some
need-
keyword research. On
Yeah,
it.
we need to do some. Here's,
Let me do some nerd stuff.
this is the advice that I would give anybody.
Now I really got to help that guy. I feel bad
Here's
about that.
yeah. Here's
I got to raise money for that dude
you
now.
gotta raise money, dude.
Oh, man. I got to send her back a friend request. It's like, I can't believe some first degree.
You
I've been
should-
punched a lot in the head and I smoke a lot of pot.
That's okay. All right, but here's the
So
thing.
stuff happens.
I want everybody to listen to this advice because too many of you are stepping on your own. There's an expression now. I'm not going to say you're junk, but whatever. All right, you're hurting yourself. You're cutting your own nose off to spite your face because you do things that you like. Like you're only on LinkedIn. You're not on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever because you don't like it. But it doesn't matter if you're a producer of something, which Mario, in this case, you're the producer of this list, right? What you want to do is you want to figure out who it is that needs it, what it is they're looking for because your list doesn't exist. So what is it that they're searching for already? And then we need to make sure that we optimize for that so that once
you got to provide the value first.
Well, you've got to, the name that you come up with, it's like this. Somebody spends, and I can't believe people do this, but they'll spend $50,000, $100,000 on this wonderful website. They will. They'll spend a lot of money. I talk to people all day, every day, who spend $10,000 plus building a website. And then they get flabbergasted when it launches. Nobody visits. They have no traffic. Well, no duh, dude, because you didn't do your SEO. You didn't do any of the other stuff that
Other
is
networking.
required. Social media. Where do people live online by the billions? Social media and search engines. They're in both spots by the billions with a B, not an M, a B. Okay. So if you're not doing the work for search engines and social media, then you're missing the number one and number two source of traffic for you. And that's where people are making a mistake. So with this, the same thing that I would say is, what is it that people, not just the business owners, but also the people in your category, what are they searching for? So one of the things a lot of them are searching for is ageism on your end, right? But the business guys probably not putting ageism because they know that that's illegal.
Yeah.
So I'll have to think about that. But that's where I would go with it. And Mike would do the same thing. You would think about
I would do it. Why not?
what are the keywords that are being searched a lot? And then also, this is something most people don't do, but they should do too. Competition research. I'm sure
Ahrefs or SEM Rush.
I'm sure that there are similar, if not the exact same thing. Most of us have. It's really hard to come up with something completely brand new, right? Like when I created Project Help You Grow, I mean, there's a million other job sites out there. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't brand new. It was the thing that makes it different is that I don't charge any money for any of it. It's all free. There's no ads. There's no subscription. You know what I mean? And anybody who's been on the site knows you don't get any spam. I don't email people. Even sometimes people.
Neither do
email,
I, unless you set your settings to outside of notifications from your social media users. My site doesn't send people emails.
Yeah.
Somebody,
the only emails I get from SPN are the ones I want to get.
Friend invites and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I want to respond.
People ask me like, what's the one thing that differently than Facebook or LinkedIn, right? If you sign up for LinkedIn, it's free, right? If you sign up for Facebook, it's free. Same thing with Instagram or Twitter. All these social media sites, including Yelp, right? You can buy advertisement, right? You can buy something on these free sites. My site's a free site. Well, when you buy advertisements on Twitter or Facebook, nobody but those companies make money.
No.
I get my started in affiliate marketing. I've been an affiliate marketer my whole life. I actually helped develop some of the biggest affiliate programs out there. I'm not going to name names, but we are going to have an affiliate program for social media, right? So if you put in your tax info, so somebody buys something through your link, we can pay you, right? You can, get Ira Bowman or Mariella's, personalized link, and you can send it to your friends, or you can even send an invite directly from your profile via email, and it'll just a message saying, "Hey, so and so from SPN sent you an invite," right? And if they recognize you, there's a good chance they sign up. And there's a little disclaimer in the message that says, if you buy ads, so and so, right? Think about this. If you get 100 people to sign up for my site, and then 2 or 3 of them wind up buying ads at any point down the road, you get a check automatically deposited or sent to you, and you did nothing but recruit somebody to a social media site, right? And it's going to go 2 levels deep. So if Ira recruits Mariella to Service Professionals Network, and Mariella's friend buys ads, Mariella and Ira will make money. Thank you, Jacob Horn. Think about that. It's going to be cool.
That is definitely unique.
Everybody on LinkedIn's looking for a job, right?
If you guys didn't pick up on that's a way to make evergreen money without doing any
ridiculous amount of money. Look at some of these influencers and gurus. Think about this. You have 197,000 people. You're kind of an idiot for telling these people about my website for free now because you knew about the affiliate program. So you're either an idiot or a really nice guy who's a good friend. You know what I mean? But seriously,
I told you a long time ago, I'll promote SPN for free. I don't care.
And you touched on something right now.
I might have to give you shares if we go.
Yeah.
Huh?
You said that a ton of people are looking for jobs. What I want to remind people, when the newscasts and everything says, "Oh, it's the lowest unemployment has ever been," it's the wrong data. Why? They look at unemployment from what unemployment agencies pay out. If I'm an independent contractor like Ira and we lose a client or we stop a job, we can't file. So we are unseen. So the numbers are much higher than what they say, but they don't know it.
Well, and the other thing about this too, and we're going to get into this a little bit when I talk about how to find a job in a foreign country.
Yeah.
There are a ton of jobs right now, but they are not good jobs. They are, entry level, minimum wage type jobs. And because of the unemployment benefits that they gave to help people survive through the pandemic, you make more money by not working than having one of those jobs. So you can't go any which direction from my house. If you were here at my house and drove at 1 mile, just make a 1 mile radius around my house. Is that 2 miles or 1 mile? Anyways, go at least a mile in any direction. That's what I'm trying to say. If you do that, I guarantee you will find a now hiring sign, probably about 1,000 of them, honestly, because there's a few, a few directions where there's tons. Well, in my area, so I live in the Inland Empire of Los Angeles. I live east of East LA. Okay, so when you come out here, there's 4 million people in this area. It's actually the most populous part of Los Angeles, which is kind of cool. But there are big box buildings, the warehouse buildings, cement buildings. They're everywhere. We got Amazon and Walmart, all those distribution centers. And there's forklift driving jobs and security jobs and everything that you can think of. But a lot of people need, because I live in California, they need more than, minimum wage to live. You really do. I would just be completely blunt with people. If you don't make $100,000 with my family size, you're underneath the poverty.
I couldn't even imagine how you do it.
You're underneath the poverty level line in California. It is really, really expensive. I was looking at something that was fascinating to me. My house cost $500,000, and I don't know if anybody cares about that, but that's just what it costs. And frankly, I live where I live because it's cheap here. If I lived 30 miles to the west, my house would be $2.5 to $3 million for the same size lot and square footage.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. But here's the thing: I was looking at what does $500,000 buy you in all 50 states? I was amazed. It's not. It sounds like a lot of money, but it's not as much as you think. My brother.
It's all relative.
I love my brother. He just spent $400,000+ on a 1-bedroom condo in Koreatown in Los Angeles. This thing was built in the 80s. It's not I mean, it's his, and I'm proud of him, and I love him, and he's excited. It's his first home. It's a major accomplishment, and it's a lot of money. But when you look at it, you go, that really costs that much money? Like, that's why I live where I live, because it's that much money for a little 600 square foot condo. Anyways, it takes money to survive. So there's not enough good jobs, right? And to Mariola's point, those numbers are off for a variety of reasons. The people who retired early.
Most of the numbers that you see in the news are, you know what I mean? And like, here's the thing: is like I'm a patterns and data guy, right? And your data is only as good as the perspective from which you're looking at it, right? You know, like if you don't know what that data is really telling you, like it's like a straw man argument.
There's a lot of that. And I learned this actually in nutrition of all classes. All the classes I took, nutrition taught me a lot that I still remember. We were looking at scientific studies, right? And this is one that a lot of people, this will probably be controversial. I might even get some comments on it. Sweet and low causes cancer.
Yeah.
Does it really? Do you know the studies that paid for that to come out with that finding were not paid for by people that that wanted it to go the other way. They fed those little mice, those tiny little mice, packs and packs and packs, 6 packs a day of that sweet and low. Those little tiny mice for 30 days straight to get those results. And when you think about that, like, okay, well, the human body is a little bit bigger, and you know what I mean. Like,
And you don't use 6 packs a day.
I'm thinking, like, maybe some people do. If you have some of that Texas sweet tea, it gets pretty sweet. But, you know, most of us probably not. So it's kind of like you have to understand who paid for the funding of the research. And if you pay attention to who paid the funding and you look at the results of that study, do they benefit the person who funded it or don't they? If you have somebody who
most of the time it does follow the money.
Yeah. Right, because they want more money later. So here's the thing: if you find a study that was funded by somebody, let's say it was a sugar farmer, let's just say hypothetically that's who it was because it was something like that.
Yeah.
So if you look at it and they go, okay, this study was funded by them, this group, but you know what, the group actually was not benefited by that, then I'll put more stock. I'll more believe that that's true then, because everybody says they're an independent study, but it's just coincidental that these studies are always funded by people that benefit from the outcome. It's like, yeah, I'm not stupid, right? Like Mike just said, straw man arguments are pretty easy to defeat by design.
Hold on a second, dude. Happy New Year's, guys. It's not New Year's where you're at, but it's just already hit 12 o'clock where I'm at.
Oh, look at
Happy
that.
New Year.
Chicagoland, Happy New Year's. Like we don't have
Happy
a ball
New Year's in Chicago. I mean, I got a few seconds to go, but my nephews and nieces are running outside for the fireworks as they always do them down the street.
2022 in Chicagoland. Let's see. So
I can't believe you losers are online talking to me on midnight.
That's central. That's Central Time. So let's see. We got Indianapolis. We got Minnesota. Right? I think they're Central. Yeah, Minnesota's Central Time. Let's go down. I'm just looking. Okay, we got Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Wisconsin.
5, 4, 3,
Okay.
2. Happy New Year!
Yay!
I think
We have another 120 minutes here.
My kids were gonna go to bed originally at 10 o'clock, but I think when I told my wife I was going live, her first reaction was, "What? Why?"
What was your reaction when you told her you're going to talk to Mike O'Connor?
and then she said, "Oh, well, I guess the kids can stay up." So there you go.
Well,
hey, we got Gene Rodriguez joining. Hello, Gene.
Hey.
Oh, I feel sorry. This lady gets to finally talk to me. This poor lady had to listen to all my crap in the inbox last night.
Gene, tell us where you're coming from.
Arizona. She's out
Gene,
there.
are you in Phoenix? Where are you at?
Fort Huachuca.
Oh, there you go.
That's
right.
Hey, you know what? I have a pretty good memory. I remember that. See, I care about you, Gene. I know what's going on.
All right. So, Gene, for those who are watching, we've been on for a while. We're going to give you a couple minutes.
Okay.
Introduce yourself. Tell
Let me
everybody.
see. There's like back feed. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have it on LinkedIn as well, go to LinkedIn and mute it.
Oh,
That's why
yeah,
you
mute,
have
mute
feedback.
the show on LinkedIn because we're a little bit ahead. It's like the old days when you'd have to turn the radio off when you called in the station.
See, now I told you guys, I wish I wore my headset.
Again, for you kids out there who have never done that, this is why you hire old people because we know why we do the things.
Experience.
Good one, Ira.
All right, Gene, if you're on,
Okay.
all right. So we're gonna give you a few minutes. Just introduce yourself. Tell us what you do, and so that way people in the audience will know. And then if they have questions, they can put them in the chat for us.
Okay. My name's Legine Rodriguez. I am a healthcare corporate recruiter. Um, I'm a military spouse as well. Live in Arizona. There's not too much about me. Very friendly. Any
That
questions or
helps when you're a
anything?
recruiter.
Well, there
You
are
don't know
not.
sometimes. 'Cause sometimes we're like, some of these recruiters on there, they got some claws.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, you'd be surprised.
You know, it's funny. I'm friends with a ton of recruiters, including Gene, on LinkedIn. It seems like you guys get a bad rap at times, though.
We do.
So
Well, I mean,
I
come on though. Who doesn't get a bad rap in every service? I mean, if you think about it, and recruiters are dealing with people at their worst time. They need a job.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's
they're always stressed. It's kind of like when I did water restoration. I never see people on their good day.
there's a couple different types of recruiters too, and I think it amazes me on LinkedIn what people know and what they don't know, right? And so when I talk about internal or external recruiters, I say when you're talking to a recruiter, you should ask what type they are, because sometimes they're getting ghosted by the recruiter, and they're not really getting ghosted by the recruiter anyways, but they feel like they're getting ghosted because they're not getting the information they want. It's like if you're talking to an external recruiter, they may not have any information to give you. It's like they're dealing with the same crap you're dealing with. They got a hiring manager who's not responding. It's like, what do you want me to say?
Oh yeah.
I guess we do got to make that group.
This happens all the time, and Gene will tell you. If you're an external recruiter, they hire you to go find a candidate, and then they promote somebody internally. Like,
And that happens a lot.
happens a lot.
Mhm.
So I empathize and sympathize with the job seeker, the recruiter, and employer because I see and hear about the horror stories on all sides. The candidates who sign they agree to join, and the first day they don't show up. It's like, what happened? You know what I mean? Like, where did you go, man? We had a deal.
All kinds, man.
And you know what happened? Gene can tell you what happened was they went and put in their notice, and the company that they wanted to leave so
They
bad
counter.
said, "Hey, we'll bump you." You know what I mean? It's like, do you really want to work for somebody who wasn't going to
It's something where everybody could be easily jaded or mad about something,
Right.
And it's kind of like one of those things where you have to be really good, kind of like social media, at letting stuff go. You can't take it, with you.
My
Hey,
buddy,
Tony.
my buddy Tony. Tony, you want to join us, brother? Hang on a second. I'm going to find the link.
Anybody starts off with hey, 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 I'm cool with that.
Tony is a motivational speaker. He's awesome.
Oh no, we can't have him on here, man. It's midnight, dude. I don't want any motivation at midnight.
It's 11 o'clock my time.
Join us, Tony. Tony's one of
He's
those
a
guys.
morning guest, dude.
Yeah, Tony will like it. So okay, so medical
I was
recruiter.
kidding, Tony.
Tell us who you're looking for. You're looking for like doctors, or you're looking for all
Nurses, all medical. And right now, we
Health
are
and
hurting.
wellness count.
Yeah, let me ask you this, Gene. I have this question. In fact, I'm going to be covering this soon because I promised I was going to cover it. And it's how to get a job in a foreign country. And one of the things I've been trying to tell people is if you want to get a sponsorship role,
Mhm.
you need to find the spots where the local labor market can't provide
Right.
enough labor force for the hospitals or whatever it would be. So if somebody has a degree experience for one of these roles, they're watching maybe from South Africa or India or Dubai or wherever they're watching, because people are, believe it or not, watching from all those places even right now.
Right.
Would those types of positions be something where they could get sponsored?
With my company, I don't believe so. But there are companies, I mean, there's companies out there that will sponsor them. But I
Yeah.
know my company does not sponsor.
Yeah, and this is what I'm trying to tell people. Like, it's
You
not
have to do your research.
there isn't a magic bullet here, but it is one of the lanes. Listen to what she just said. Her company doesn't do it, but other companies do, and I know that to be true.
Mhm.
Now, here's another hypothetical for you. Does your company have any multinational locations, like you're in France, for example, or London and the United States?
No.
Okay.
There
So
you
another way that you folks out there, if
Why
you
did
look,
we even have her on here?
I don't know.
Oh,
People,
you better stop.
oh, hang on.
You better stop.
But check this out, guys. If you're looking to
I like it. We're gonna get along. She's not. Nobody checks me. I like this.
Gene,
She's a military spouse. She's ready to
she's my
go.
military spouse. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, she's
Now, here's the thing, guys.
prepared for
Listen
my
to this.
crap.
If you want to work, let's say you wanted to work in the United States, because a lot of you who know me, that's what you want. What you can do, and I got this particular strategy was not my original thought. This actually came from Juliana Robbie, and I want to give credit where credit is due. And by the way, she's one of the foremost experts I know on this particular topic. I've interviewed her 3 times on this topic alone. One of the pieces of advice that she gave me that was like an epiphany for me was go get a job locally for a company that has offices where you want to be.
Mhm.
You start there, you build your reputation. Now you're working HR from inside. Now you're a known commodity, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's usually, and she says, it takes years to do this, but it's the most surefire way actually to do it. And then the other thing I tell people to do too is informational interviews. If you know somebody who has done what you want to do, talk to them, pick their brain, ask them for advice. Because usually, once you've done something, like Mike,
Right.
when I launched Project Help You Girl, Mike had already had SPN going, right? He has a website, he built it. Of course, he broke it every which way he could.
Every way.
Hey, Jacob Warren fixed it. Awesome. But
Thanks, Jacob.
but I was able to pick Mike's brain, right? Because Mike had been, he blazed a trail that I hadn't been down yet. So another thing that I would suggest to you, job seekers out there, right? If you're looking for any kind of job, find somebody who has that job now or somebody who's had it recently and ask them for advice.
Yeah.
And by the way, Jean's on the show right now. You could ask her a question. I will put it up on the show. Jean could ask.
I like Jean. I talked
Oh
to her.
my gosh! If you have a question for a recruiter, we got one, folks.
Yeah,
Jean is
absolutely.
smart. She's smart. And Usama says, "Hey, how y'all doing?" He said, "What's up, everybody?" And
How you
Tony,
doing, sir?
Tony, don't be shy, bro. Come on. I know you know.
Ha ha ha! No motivation.
I'm not a very motivatable guy.
I got it for you right here, Tony. Come on, brother. Join us on the show. It's all good. But anyways,
And I had the question for Jean.
yes.
Have you ever seen companies, the HR department, they have employees
Mhm.
who need, let's say, a nurse,
Mhm.
but they have no idea what the nurse does?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
All the
So
time.
It's like
It's a scary
most-
world we live in, isn't it?
yeah.
I mean, like,
So- How do they report to the owner of the company?
They
Like
don't.
me, I went to a bunch of interviews, and when I asked some questions, they were looking at me like I just landed from Mars.
Mhm.
So maybe somebody should educate the
that's
recruiters.
when you just
I
get
don't
up and
know.
leave.
Well, it's funny. So I've worked for places where the HR department would write the job description and put it out, and then I would get these candidates to interview, and I'm like, why are you sitting in front of me right now? And then I've had other places, Mariella, what they would do instead of what you said, they wouldn't take the time to learn my job and what I needed. They just wouldn't. But what they would do is say, hey, what do you want us? Write the job description for us, and then we'll send it to us, and they'll clean it up if I made any like legal mistake. You know what I mean? Because like I'm not an HR expert. I don't pretend to be that guy either, right?
I am.
So
Totally.
what I would do is I would write the job description. I would send it to HR. They would clean it up for any technicalities, and then they would post it. And then I would get candidates that were, to my liking, and that actually worked out pretty well. But I never once had anybody from HR come to my department and go, "Hey, we just want to learn how you do what you do." And when I was a manager, who let me spend some time with your team. Nah, I don't know anybody who does that. If there's a company out there that does that, kudos to you, but I don't know of any. Gene, did you hear about Mariola's idea? I don't know how long you've been watching, but Mariola has this idea, which I think is actually really cool. So
No.
the idea is we have all these people, let's call them experienced workers, and companies are shying away because they don't want their benefits to go up or whatever, right? So my suggestion to those people is to work fractionally, go 1099, get on some type of fractional contract, and then everybody has an advantage. They get the experience they want. They don't have to worry about the risk of the healthcare. But Mariella has another suggestion, which actually I think is really, really good. And it's kind of this idea of mentorship. Comes from the movie with the intern, right?
Yeah, with Robert De Niro.
I'm getting this down, but making a list of people who want to be on it as these mentor folks, and then the companies could get the list and find the people that they need. So kind of a double-edged resource for the people who want to be on it and the people who need it. First of all, the idea would be, so they would be 1099 employees. They'd be paid. It wouldn't be a free internship or mentor program. It would be a paid thing. But I think that people would pay for that. But also, she's kind of curious as to what to call it. And because you're a recruiter, I thought, well, you might, maybe not off your cuff, but it might be something you could kick around and go, you know what, this would be a good name for it. Or do you know? You don't happen to know of anything like that exists currently, right?
No.
I've never heard of anything like that, and I just think it's
that's good.
That's
real good.
That's a pretty darn good idea.
That's really
We're
good.
talking about people 50 plus who are energetic, who want to succeed.
There's 5 people doing it
want
right now.
to contribute, who don't want to give up yet. So,
Did you
younger
Google it,
CEOs,
Mike?
head companies.
I'm sorry?
Did you just Google it?
No, I was Googling something else.
He was lying.
I'm trying to keep up with you people. You guys start using big words, I get confused.
We should Google. I'm going to Google it right now. You guys talk. I'm going to Google it. I want to see if
I haven't heard anything of that
Actually,
nature.
my
But that's a good
Wi-Fi
idea.
die here, so I'm going to have to jet off here in a second.
Yeah, that's a great idea. It really is.
And it might bring hope to a lot of people too.
Yeah. I did want to add that if somebody reaches out to a recruiter or just trying to network with somebody and they get the cold shoulder, don't get discouraged.
No.
You can't.
Don't.
Can't. It doesn't change your needs.
Don't.
Like,
because there's some nasty people out there. Let's be honest.
Oh, I just ripped off some nice lady here because I thought she was being mean. I go, apologies. There's so many.
Somebody said this on a post or a comment on a thread that I read on LinkedIn a few days back, and I thought, man, it's true. I wish I could do it for everyone, but people don't understand. Like, I get friend requests every single day, right? Frankly, it's usually in the hundreds, but I can't accept any of them. You know what I mean? Like, there's a limit. There's an actual limit to how many.
30,000. Yeah.
Yeah, 30,000. So if you're watching this and you don't know that, like, I can't add you without deleting somebody. Like, that's the trait. I have to find somebody that I don't like anymore.
I'll tell you what. I'm in the same boat. I have 190,000 followers. I'm at 30,000 first though, right? I will go delete somebody right now if you join my weblink on it. I'll find somebody.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that they were asking. They're like, hey, if a job seeker sends you a friend request, accept it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you know what? If you have room, do that. Help them out. What is it going to hurt you? Like,
you should take all until you get to 30,000. You should take everybody and trim it down for many different reasons. Like, it's marketing.
People need to understand this. Like, you could call it what you want. Many people will say karma. Now, I'm a Bible believer, so I don't say it that way. I say we reap what we sow. You can say it however you want. That's what it means.
You can say it like that too, but you can even think about it from like your own growth, from your own selfish needs, right? Most people don't understand the power of LinkedIn, what it means to have 30,000 connections, right? Think about every business in the world, right? Every business has to make money. Therefore, every business has to have customers. Every business in the world would be so scared if Ira Bowman, with his 197,000 people, walked in and said, I'm going to make a complaint online. And they'd be upset because he has 500,000 people
You know that I got a whole year of power
on all
for
these
free.
different social media channels following them. 5,000. Do you know how many problems I don't have? Because I tell people I will LinkedIn your ass. Do you know how many people have said, oh, let me go look up his LinkedIn network. You know what? It helps me avoid problems. It helps me get nice things. It helps me be desirable. If you had two candidates, right? You have candidate A, candidate B. You're looking at two pieces of paper. They look the same, right? Everybody looks the same. They're both great in their interviews. It's a tied race, right? It's a photo finish. One guy's got 400 LinkedIn connections. One guy's got 197,000. Which one are you going to hire if you're a business person that has to keep the lights on, has to pay insurance, has to pay marketing? I'm going with the guy with 197,000 connections for many different reasons. And
Yeah,
no offense,
hang on a
if you're
second.
too stupid to figure that out after I just told you that, like, you have to go rethink everything in your entire life.
Think about this now too, because this is a whole nother way to think about the same
I'm
thing.
motivation.
Positive things here. What Mike said is 100% true. If you add all those people and you get to 30,000, of course, I don't care what you say. People look at you different. I could tell you that people looked at me different when I got to 5,000, when I got to 10,000, when I got to 15,000. When I got to 15,000, all of a sudden people were paying attention to me.
Hold on one second. Were you
It's
kind of like
status.
laughing at me when I said that earlier?
It's
Very
status.
well. We can back this up, right? Like, wasn't he kind of laughing at me when I brought 10, 15?
No, it's true. I didn't say anything bad about
Maybe I'm defensive today.
But you are, but that's okay. Listen to
I'm
this,
always
though,
defensive.
because even before you get to that level, forget all that. But that is true. What Mike said, that is all true. When you build, the more you build, the more people are going to look at you, whether they want to admit it or not. People are only watching me on these shows because I have a large network. It isn't because I'm funnier or smarter or anything else, right?
Yeah.
I'm weird. I try to be funny. But here's the thing. Let's say you have one follower. You don't even have like 100. It doesn't matter. You get a friendship or a connection request from a job seeker and you accept it. First of all, it didn't cost you a dime because you've got 30,000 open slots. It didn't cost you nothing, right? It makes them feel like somebody out there gives a crap.
You're giving hope.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. What do you think that person is going to do for the rest of time? They're going to remember the people that helped them when they were down.
Let me tell you something. I
went to that.
I've lived on a beach because my choice was pay for my server or get food and rent, and I kept paying for my server. Right?
That's why it's still live.
I was like, literally, I spend thousands of dollars a month just to keep my website up. I'm giving it to people for free, right? So that's kind of why I'm defensive when people give me crap. It's because, like, I'm stressed to the bone, right? That's every business owner out there that's
there's no doubt,
right? When you have somebody that has a large network, it helps you avoid so much stuff. Every business owner has that angst, especially they're just getting going, to where like they have to cover that, right? And like people fail to realize this is the easiest time in the world to build an empire. Not like, conquering people and raping and pillaging. Nobody's cool with that anymore. Me too, right? But what I'm saying is you can build a virtual empire by just liking stuff, just by being nice, sharing puppy mean cat videos or whatever. Look at me. I'm a clown. Look at my haircut, my sweatshirt, right? I smoke a lot of pot. I talk about it. In 2016, when I lost my job, I was offered a CMO marketing position. I've never had a corporate job. I don't understand how the corporate world works in a lot of ways because I'm a blue collar guy. I'm an SEO guy. I don't know what I got offered a job for $250,000 a year plus incentives. Okay. Over a lot of people. And at the time I had 32,000 connections. Okay. I have 45,000 now, and 32,000 2 years ago was different than it is now because everybody and their mother has a million connections now, right? But think about it, $250,000 a year. They don't know me but anything but what I put on LinkedIn.
Check this out. This is an example of what we're talking about here for those of you who are just like, I don't get it. This is a company that pays me to run their social media.
22,000%, 110,000 post impressions.
Look at
I
this.
mean, forget the
Okay,
custom button clicks, right? Forget
so
the new followers. That is insane.
in the last 30 days, they went from 130 followers to 210. But here's the thing: they had never had a post break 50. That was their highest post ever was 50 views. I went through every single post they'd ever put on LinkedIn. And in the last 30 days, I got them 110,000 post impressions. Now, these aren't posts on my page.
It's on
These
their
are
page.
posts, these are posts on their page with their 210 followers. Okay. When you build your network and you do this correctly, you don't think that this changes their whole future? Like this one splash. Like when I do client meetings, I don't have
I mean, not to
these.
sound weird, but if Ira drops a comment on your post, it can change your life.
It doesn't.
You know.
But here's the thing. How did I do it? I built my network doing what we're talking about right now.
You're building it
Networking.
now.
Win-win networking. You don't just take. You don't ignore people. You don't ghost them. You don't say you're not good enough for me, or you're not smart enough for me, or you're from Chicago and those people are weird. They don't even wear pants. Like, you don't do that.
Yeah, or I became a LinkedIn influencer, so you are
Oh,
nobody to me.
I hate that word.
I
Yeah.
hate guru. Guru
Yeah.
bothers me. Guru bothers me to no end.
Well, it is what it is, but you know what I mean. But the thing is you don't big time people, or like, oh, you're not a CEO. I used to get these guys. They're investors. In fact, they still call them, and they're always trying to get my business. And one of them said to me, he's like, "So what do you drive? A BMW or Mercedes?" I'm like, it's funny. I drive a Kia that's 10 years old. That's what I drive. You know what I mean? Like, and then other people say, well,
What
we
does
only
that
deal
have
with.
to do with the price of tea in China?
I don't know, but they're talking about they want to be with they want millionaire clients. I'm like, I'm not your guy.
Warren Buffett, one of the richest people in the world, lives in the same home that he bought like eons ago.
Yeah,
The guy eats for breakfast every day. He gets like the same sausage McMuffin and the small Diet Coke every day. He spends $3 for breakfast.
And that's how you keep your money.
The richest guy I ever knew lived basically like a bum.
Do you know what
Socked away all his money? He was a multi-millionaire.
When Warren Buffett was a billionaire, he was getting interviewed by somebody, and that person said, "Hey, what's with that big stack of newspapers in the corner? How long you been, having that there, right?" And Warren Buffett's like, "Oh, that's from today." And those are all the newspapers from like around the world. And the guy's like, "You're gonna read all those? I read them every day." Like, why would you read all those? Well, because that's what I do, money. And like, well, how do people, what do they do if they want to be you? Well, you see that stack of newspapers, you just go get your own stack,
right?
Read through it, right? Like people ask me how I learned about the internet and some of the things. I'm a moron, and a lot of people watching this video would agree. But like, I'm a total moron compared to Jacob Warren. You know what I mean? Like, that guy is, and people like that. Even Ira, like the other day, Ira made a logo for me. I felt like I was drooling on my keyboard more than I usually do because he was making it look so fast and so easy, right? And here's the beautiful thing about networking with guys like Jacob and Ira. Like, they charge a decent amount of money, as they should, for their time, right? I get a little bit of deal because I do marketing, I do engagement, I do commenting, I help them back. You know what I mean? And when it doesn't matter what you're doing or where you're at today, right? You can change your life. Look at Ira, okay? In 2 years, he went from having a job to being his own job and making more money than he's ever made, right? Granted, he's a loser because he's talking to me on New Year's Eve online, but I was just joking. But
Mike,
you can do anything,
I think it's wonderful. I mean, I can only hope that, not hope, but when I do get to that status, I'm going to give back, because I think that's so important. It's so important. I've had so many doors shut in my face, and I'm not going to do that to anybody.
Well, I mean, Ira's doing that now. I mean, look at it. That's why we're up here. That's why Mary Ella's up here. That's why I'm up here. That's why Gene's here. I mean, Ira's giving back to us right now at this very moment. And I call him a loser. I'm such a creep.
Look at that pretty logo. He likes the shoulders, everybody.
I as any business owner, right? You don't want to change your logo. You don't want to change everything. But that looks pretty sharp, man. I really like the outline, too. And I don't know if you guys know what the logo is, but it's supposed to be like the S, but it's also two people from the air shot shaking hands because
Yeah, that's a head. That's a head, and these are their hands. They're shaking hands. So, but Mike had asked me, or our buddy Craig, one of us, to make a video to help kind of explain how to easily add new friendships on SPN. And I'm like, yeah, I could do that for you. But then I was like, okay, so I made the video, and then I
it's
was
like your logo sucks.
I need to brand it, but I don't want to put that crappy pixelated logo on the video because
I'm not a logo guy.
I wanted to look good. So I sent Mike a message and I said, hey, what's the font that you use in your logo? Because
what I reply with?
I can't find it. I went through like 400 different font types, font faces in Illustrator, and I couldn't find it. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna see. And he's like, I don't know. I don't know, man. Just so I said, cool, let's do this. Jump on a call with me. We're gonna pick a font, and then you're gonna have this brand new vector logo. You can use it for everything.
I'm the worst person to deal with some things too, because
so we made this version here. This is stacked, but we made another. I made another version too, which is the traditional.
I like it. I really do. I mean, the guy does awesome stuff.
I should
be nicer to you, Ira. I really should be.
Well,
yes, you should.
Everybody should be, but that's okay. So here's the
everybody. I bet your wife would disagree.
She's like, yeah, Ira's a jerk. You can be mean. Here's the old version. It's really what we call wide.
No, that's not even the old one because it's got the shoulders.
No, it's the old setup.
Oh, so
yeah. So I like this other one better because it's square, so it's more universal for today's world. But there are times where you want this other one too. So now Mike has both.
I wouldn't know.
He can pick and choose and use whichever he wants, but he's got them. And I designed this in Illustrator, so they're vector files. So if he needs to do the side of a building or side of a fence or something, he can print any size. So
it's gonna be on the size of my car.
And my twisted eye looks at it, and except for a handshake, I see people holding the entire world together.
It's an infinity sign.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 100%. Well, and here's the thing: if
you think about it, right? There's infinite possibilities when professionals come together to do good things.
Yeah.
If you want some advice from a graphic designer and an entrepreneur and somebody who comes from the print space, right? I spent 2+ decades in the print world. When you get your logo made, don't just get the JPEG, don't just get the PNG file. Make sure that you get the vector artwork, because if you get the vector art, then the graphics people can do whatever they need to do with it to print anything you want. If you only get the JPEG and then you walk away, there's a lot of problems. And what I typically give people is I give them the font. I give the font types. I give the font colors, because you want consistency in your branding across the board, right? So I know when you're starting out, you're just like, I need a logo. I don't really care. I just need something. And you're so excited when you get it, you don't think about all the things that you need down the road because you're just at that first step. But this is where, just like I talked about earlier, informational interviews. When you talk to people who have already gone ahead of you doing the same type of thing that you're going to do, you can avoid so many headaches. And by the way, most people like that. Like when I talk to Mike and he knows, he likes to help me out. And the same thing. When Mike calls me and he's trying to do something that I've already done before and I can help him, I like it. Because most of us like to help people. So it's one of those things. You don't have to be bashful. Mariella can call me and ask me anything anytime she wants. Now
people act surprised when I help them with something. I don't know why that is. You know what I mean?
Well, that phone call that we were on the other day, it was it was kind of like a game of ping pong in a sense, because I was helping Mike with this. That's how it started, the logo thing, right? But then he helped me with if this, then that. And then we just kind of went back and forth for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It was a couple hours. But anyways, we went back and forth helping each other. It was like, man, this is so cool. We should do this more often. Jump on a video call, share your screen and talk about stuff and watch what happens. That's what happens with me and mine.
And that's what I want to do with you and help you with the Google Chrome thing, because you have to do that once a day.
Yeah, you and me got to jump on when we're not on air.
Yes, exactly.
And do that. And then after we get me all fixed, then we can go on live and teach everybody else. I think
How
that
to
would,
do it. Exactly.
hey, I need everybody to plan on watching us on Monday or the following Monday. We'll figure it out, but it's going to be probably on a Monday. Mariella and I will do a show, how to save your bacon from getting hacked, or at least reduce the odds of getting hacked. We'll say it that way. Mike is having technical difficulties.
Yeah. Oh, it's so nice. It's like I have you all in my little office here and we're spending time together. I love it.
Yeah.
I thank y'all so much. Ira, you do amazing work and you've taught me a whole lot. And I appreciate you. I really do.
I got my headset. I feel so much better.
There you go.
I couldn't leave Gene out. You know, I had to.
Gene,
Oh.
I think Gene's getting ready to say adios to us, but I appreciate that. I try to help people all the time. You know, it's funny.
Yeah.
I keep getting this question, and it's almost like people are asking me, trying to like ask me to validate the value of Project Help You Grow. Like, how many people? I want to know how many people have gotten a job for Project Help You Grow.
Isn't it wild? Aren't you tired of that?
And I go, you know what's funny is I don't know how to quantify it. Like, that was always an initial challenge. How? Because I don't actually hire anybody at Project Help You Grow. What do? It's a bridge that connects the job seeker to the.
How would you even know?
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
so there's no way for me, like any number that I would throw out there would just be a guess. Now, I can tell you that I get emails, actually quite a few emails that people send me and say, hey, I just want to let you know I found a job and I'm so thankful for your help. You know, and so that's cool. And then I get the recruiters. People forget I deal with the recruiters and the employers too. I've got recruiters who don't have, they're independent recruiters, right? They don't have their own website. They load all their jobs on Project Help You Grow.
Isn't that crazy?
They
should load their jobs on SPN too.
They should. I'm gonna
have you. I'm gonna need you to take over the job board, Ira. I don't
So-
want to do that.
So the point though is people keep asking me, like, you know, how many people? And
They want to see your metrics.
You can hear the.
Do you know how many people ask me, like, how many people make money off SPN? Let me tell you something. First of all, I have no clue, right?
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, I'm spending money on SPN every month, right? I have sponsors. I make money from it, right? But like I take money out of my pocket to keep the lights on because of how much server stuff and everything else costs, right? But there are people on SPN that make a living, and I don't even know anything about them. You know what I mean? Just from posting stuff, getting a few links. There are some people, like, I don't even know who they are, but their individual profile picture gets a couple thousand clicks a month.
Well,
I
will tell you guys, I told my link builders, so people hire Bowman Digital Media. One of the things that we do is SEO services. And I told my team, I have 3 people in my SEO team and myself. So there's 4 of us that work on SEO. They all are required now to build company listings on SPN as part of our package.
I appreciate that. I mean, I don't know, like, I have a pretty high ranking domain and a lot of people don't know what domain authority is, and I don't necessarily want to talk about that, right? But like, I have a website that really gets a lot of traffic, not just from Google and Bing, right? But people are like, I don't want to use your site because of all those memes and all those stupid pictures. Like, you know, I don't want to be on another Facebook. But those people don't realize is, like, all those memes, they drive hundreds of thousands of people to my website every month through Pinterest.
That's
I
right.
mean, you can go look at my Pinterest page. At one point, I was having 5 million monthly visitors to my Pinterest page. But Pinterest, like any other social media channel, is really fed by activity. You have to be consistent. Like, if you go on, you post 1 image a month, it's not going to really be fed a lot. But you post 100 images a week, all of a sudden, you're getting hundreds of thousands of clicks, right? So, like, it's just the nature of the beast with lots of things. You know, you don't know, what good you're doing, but you know it's doing something.
I was excited when I got to 5,000 followers on Pinterest. I don't know why. I was like, yay.
I don't even know if I have 5,000 followers. Or you mean monthly viewers or followers?
No followers. Yeah.
Man, are you beating me in Pinterest too? Are you
Friendly competition.
what
Yeah.
pages? What is this, Iron?
My kids taught me a trick on Pinterest. So I
Oh,
was like, okay. And what it is, I'll share it. Hey,
yes, please.
caring is caring. What you want to do is find people with F4F. You know what that stands for? Follow for
No.
follow.
Oh, yes.
You
Yes.
follow them, they follow you.
Okay. Okay.
Now, just like every other website, you gotta don't go crazy. Just do like 50 at a time, and once you start doing it every day, then you can bump it up a little bit. But it's one of those things I got my hands slapped a few times by Pinterest. They're like, "Are you automating?" Blah blah blah.
Right.
But yeah, follow for follow. It's the little way to say, "Hey,
So do you spell it out, or you just
I'm
do
an
FF?
I'm an open networker." Well, that's
So
the thing. People do it different ways. F for F is
Just
the
like
most,
Twitter, Instagram.
yeah, it's
everything.
the most common thing. F for F. So they'll put it in their name. So it'd be like Gene Rodriguez F for F.
You mentioned Twitter. How do you do this automatic replying?
Oh, so if this then that, you can set up an applet. And
IFTTT.com.
yeah, so now when somebody follows me, it automatically tweets, "Hey, thank you for following me
Yeah.
on Twitter." And if you're on LinkedIn, here's my LinkedIn profile. Follow me there too.
Wow.
And you
It's
can
called
set
what?
up this program.
PTT.
This is what I was telling you about. So the phone call, Mike, it's when you left off. I was telling them about our call. I said that was kind of fun because that was like a 3 hour call, and it was like ping pong. I was helping Mike for a minute with the logo, and then all of a sudden he's helping me with this, and then after
There's
that,
been
it's
so
like, hey, what
many
about
calls
this?
like that too.
And that was so cool. But that was one of the things that we got because, like, I mean, I'll just be completely transparent with everybody. LinkedIn doesn't want you to automate your stuff; it's against the rules. And so, I have 197,000 followers on LinkedIn. I'm very careful about what I do. I follow every single rule they have. LinkedIn, if you're watching, I follow your rules. Mike can verify it. I will not break them. Promise you. If I know about it, I won't break them. So if I do something ignorantly, I apologize. But I'm pretty aware and I follow the rules. So I've
Notice
never,
the rest of us so quiet.
I've never done.
I follow the rules.
I've
Oh,
never
I
done.
follow them
I've
too.
never done anything to break the rules. But a lot of the networks don't care. They let you use these third parties to do things, right? So to Mike's point, now look, I'm going to say this. It's going to sound like a humble brag, and I'm not trying to come off this way, but I'll outwork most of you, right? Just the sheer hours and I'm a stubborn son of a gun. You'll be hard pressed to find, and I know people say that all the time, but you actually try to keep up with me sometime and you'll figure it out. I'm hard to beat, but I cannot compete with automation. I just can't, right? Mike can do 20,000 activities in a day right now, and I can do like 200. You know what I mean? Like I'm a human being. So having some of this stuff will help me. And one of the things that I've been trying to do forever is figure out how to get more activity on Twitter. Because I just,
Yeah.
that's been the hardest one of all for me.
I get anywhere from 20 to 60 people a day from Twitter.
And you can watch you could just go to Mike O'Connor, Big O, go check his profile out and look at his activity. You see all the, hey, thanks for following me. Make sure you sign up on SPN. You just read through that. There's 50 of them every day. It's like, man, I wish I could get those people. Those same people would follow me on Twitter. That would help me out because he's at 7,000 and I'm at 5,000. He's beating me. Anyways.
One out of 8.
All right. Well, whatever. I'm still at 5. So there you go. But the automation thing's going to help. So what do I got? I got every time someone follows me, I've got that. And that's hopefully will help me with my LinkedIn. I don't know if it will or not, but it's just more activity anyways. But then also every time someone tags me in a tweet, like Mariella will, a lot of times she'll retweet my tweets for me, which I love. Thank you very much. And Mike does the same thing. Well, now when it has an at Ira M Bowman, which is my handle on Twitter, if people still use handles. But anyways, that's my Twitter handle, at Ira M Bowman. If they do that, then it automatically says, say, thank you for the shout out.
It works. Automation's great.
Yeah. So, and then I've got one every time I post a photo on Instagram, because I'm on Instagram. Like I have 71,000 or something like that followers on Instagram. I have a lot over there. And I don't know if you guys know this. I mean, I take take photos every single day. I'm a photographer. So I post the photos, and I was using, because Instagram is owned by Facebook. So when I post on Instagram, it automatically would make a post for me on Facebook. Again, that's automation, and they're okay with it, right? They don't care. So now when I make a post on Instagram, it still does that for me on Facebook through Instagram, but now I also have through this other program where it does Tumblr for me. It makes a Tumblr, it adds my photos on my
And
Tumblr.
Flipboard too, right?
Yeah, and Flickr is the other one.
Flickr.
Yeah, so I made a separate one. So I've got one that goes for Flickr and one that goes for Tumblr.
If I do an image on Instagram, it goes to 9 different spots.
And
Wow.
and also I built one for Facebook for my business pages. So Project Help You Grow and Bowman Digital Media. If I post on that a photo on those, then it will make a
you can do like whatever you want on the line.
Tumblr and Flickr for me as well.
If you post an image on Facebook, it can go to Twitter. I have stuff go from Facebook to Pinterest. If I make a new YouTube video, it goes to Facebook pages. It goes to my personal Facebook.
wow.
It goes to my LinkedIn. It goes to my LinkedIn company page. And it goes to my Twitter. It goes to my Tumblr.
I'm paying $10 a month for that.
I'm paying $1.99 because I'm always a beta user because I'm a nerd.
And I can't get Pinterest, but he can. But anyways, look, like that's the kind of stuff like you can work smarter, still work hard, but you know what I mean? Now I'm going to be duplicating my efforts across. And social media, in case you guys haven't figured this out, and this has been a lot about social media strategy this last half hour or so, but social media is, now Mike and I call it another thing that's not necessarily politically correct, so I'm not going to say that expression, but let me say it this way.
I'm a bad influence.
He knows exactly what I'm talking about. But let's say it this way. It's top of mind. Okay. So if you haven't posted something in 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, it's not that people are ignoring you. It's they're not thinking about you. You know what I mean? Because Gene's thinking about Gene, and Mariella's thinking about Mariella, and Ira's thinking about Ira, and Mike is thinking about Mike. And why? Because we're human beings. It's not that we don't care about you. Like, look, if I see that your dog is sick, or whatever struggle you got going on, like that one that Gail put up earlier, right? I'm gonna go back because Mike has
Julia. I gotta send that lady a apology. I'm gonna go out of my way. I was offended. I almost got off.
I know.
You know how many people say I'm mentally challenged in a day? I was
like,
I
look,
don't
I love that
She's-
lady. Like,
yeah, I was like, oh, delete.
She's an awesome person. I know she's got a heart of gold. She helps people. She's been doing it for a long time. I know this about her. She's altruistic. She was
cool. Like I get a short-term memory. I have 8,000 notifications an hour.
Here's the thing, Mike. This is what I'm trying to say. I forgot about her for months because I hadn't seen her around LinkedIn for months.
It happens.
I used to hang out with her all the time. You know what I mean? Online. I'm talking about online. But that's what happens. Like,
you got 197,000 people.
Like Nick Dorsey, for example. Nick Dorsey, somebody that I met in person when he was moving from Washington to Arizona. He stopped by my house on his way. We had breakfast together. It was really cool. But then you know what? He got busy doing his thing. I got busy doing my thing. And I haven't talked to that guy in like 6 months. Do I not like Nick Dorsey anymore? No, of course I do. I just haven't talked to him. You know what I mean? And then recently he's been in my feed again. It's like, oh, okay, cool. And he actually sent me a text. He's like, hey, I'm going to be out your way. I'm like, cool. Now he's back on my radar. You know what I mean?
Isn't that wild how it works?
Kurt Anderson. There's another one. There's a guy. I absolutely love that guy, Kurt Anderson.
Yeah, he's a cool cat. I just saw him in my feed for the first time today.
One of the coolest guys you're going to meet. But if I don't see his post in, a week or two, like, you know what? Kurt Anderson, you live in, I think, Atlanta, Georgia, if I'm remembering this right?
I have no idea. I can't remember. I think
he's in the manufacturing space and he's on the East Coast. And you know what I mean? Like, if I don't see him, post, it's not that I don't like him anymore. I love the guy to death. I respect him. He's like, if I could meet, like, he's in like the top 3 people on LinkedIn. If I could meet in person, in 2022, I would, because I respect him that much. But the fact is, I don't go to bed every night thinking about Kurt Anderson. Let me go check his page.
I'm sure he's happy about that.
Probably. You know what I mean? But
I think
the ones that I see, and this is why another advantage of SPN. When I go to SPN, it's just another place, and I am on SPN like every 4 hours. I think I'm
more than I am now.
apparently I'm the third most active person on SPN at the moment, but I'm on there all the
I don't
time.
know how I'm not
And-
in the top 10.
And you know what's cool? What's
You're
cool
beating
about
me
that?
on my own site.
You know, he actually might have it set up where you can't be that guy.
Oh,
That's-
I'll fire Jacob
I'm
for
like
that.
that. I'm like that. I'm like that on Project Help You, bro. You keep like when I had the chat set open, you couldn't see when I was on. I'm like, well, I mean, it would be nice if people knew I was there. But anyways,
My developer's hosing me.
right. Well, here's the thing. It's just another place where you can be top of mind. You can go and you can check, and I guarantee you, I hang out with people on LinkedIn that I see on SPN more than I hang out with people on LinkedIn that aren't on SPN. And it isn't because I'm trying to be biased and say, well, if you're not
You just see
SPN, I
them.
don't want to do with you. It's just because I see them.
Less noise. You know what I mean?
But it's 100% top of mind. So Twitter's like that, Instagram's like that. I've got some people, Krista Mullen. I kind of lost track with her. I used to do LinkedIn local events with her up in San Francisco. Then she moved down to San Diego. Then I moved down here to LA. And then she moved off to France. And I kind of forgot about her. You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
She's in France now?
She's in France.
We.
Not permanently, but her dad went there. And I don't want to tell her business, but her dad got sick and he passed away.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
anyways, she's there. But I see her on Instagram and on Twitter. And now I'm seeing her more again on LinkedIn. You know what I mean? Top of mind.
Right.
And so that's where, like, you know, for those of you who are one-trick ponies and you're only on one social media and you think like a consumer, it's like that's part of why you're stagnant.
Yeah.
know
That's
what I mean?
why I'm always scrolling and liking things. And
What happened when Clubhouse came out? Everybody took like a vacuum and went to Clubhouse, and now Clubhouse, I think, is pretty much disintegrated because of the fad went away. It had its 15 minutes of fame, but the fact is, for a while,
Are they still getting a lot of users though? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think they're pretty much dead.
Really?
I keep seeing is this the doornail or coffin nail? Like,
I went in there a few times and
I don't go to
quite
Clubhouse
honestly,
anymore. I'm just gonna be honest. Like I'm there like maybe once a month. That's it. I
it
still
just seemed
haven't-
like a bunch of people trying to sell me.
Well, you know what it was to me? It was like people who they kept trying to tell you how awesome they were and how busy they were, but they were always on Clubhouse. I'm like, if you're really running a company like I am, you don't have time for this crap.
That's why I never got on Clubhouse. You know what I mean? I'm on LinkedIn all the time because Ira's kicking my butt, and I really want to catch up.
I will just be 100% transparent with everybody. I'm on LinkedIn all day because I make my money on LinkedIn, right? Like,
Well, that's where I got my sponsors. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
where my sponsors. I get more traffic from other places, but the people that pay me are on LinkedIn. So, you know, I mean, I gotta be on LinkedIn. Not only that, but there's a lot of people for me to help on LinkedIn, right? But like, if I'm being real, if I'm keeping it 100% real with you guys, I could just post cat memes on my site or take memes from Facebook, put them on my site, and share them to Pinterest, and I would make more money from the traffic that I generate, right? But like, I don't want to load up my site with 1 million memes myself. You know what I mean? I want natural user stuff. You know what I mean?
talk
But
about that all the time. Yeah, that's
Like,
like bro.
I'm
Well,
not
I-
feeding the activity feed. You know what I mean? That much.
I'm going to tell you all kind of behind the scenes secret why Project Help You Grow doesn't charge recruiters to add jobs or to find candidates or any of that stuff. Why do I make that free for everybody? Here's the trade that I made from the very beginning. I could have charged people and they would have paid it. Not everybody would have used it, but some people would, and I would have made some money. Okay. But the thing is, every time somebody makes a job listing on Project Help You Grow, I get a new backlink. It's an internal link, but it's a backlink.
No,
Okay.
they're painting your fence.
That's so smart.
They're painting my fence.
They're
Right.
painting your
They
fence.
use the apparatus for free, but every time they do something on there to create a new a job listing, it creates a new page. A new page is a new link. It has a dedicated URL. So every time they do that, it helps me too. So it is win-win.
Do you know every time somebody makes an activity comment, like one comment on my website equals a new page?
Yeah,
So if
and-
Ira makes a post, Mariola comments, that's 2 pages. Gene comments, that's 3 pages. Every comment is a whole new page, right? So, I mean, you're painting my fence with your engagement, right? But you got to think about it. Every time you make a comment, right? Let's say you're talking about cats. I like cat examples, right? Ira's like, look at my cat. Mariola's like, oh, I love that cat. Gene's like, oh, that's a great cat. Well, guess what? Now my website's going to start ranking for cats and different things.
That's right.
On Google and Bing, right?
Right.
And
right.
not only does that come back to my website, but it comes back to your profile.
Mhm.
It's just like LinkedIn and everything else, right?
That's important.
You know,
That's That's very important, especially when you need your website. Your website makes money for you. So,
It's all about traffic, you know.
yes.
Mike
You
and I
know,
talked about this a long time ago. We want to go on a cruise and not have to worry about anything. I mean, we're not there yet, but one day that's what we're gonna do.
one day I'm gonna get like Carnival or some other cruise line to give me a deal for SPN members. I'm gonna try to rent one out for like a deal for marketing. I'm gonna get like the 69 or 70 original SPN members and just rent out the whole boat. I mean, that'd be cool, man. Just to be obnoxious about it. Just so we can do the social media picture with like just 60 people on this big boat.
All right, so I had a couple things I was supposed to talk about when I advertised this show. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was how to find a job in a foreign country. We did kind of cover that. So if you're watching and you want more information on how to find a foreign job, let me know. The other thing I talked about was, and Gene, you can actually, if you would like, cover this. Looking for remote positions is becoming more and more common. People want the advantage of working from home, no commute, all that stuff. So, what advice would you give to job seekers who they want to work remote, but they don't know how to find that position? Maybe you could give some tips because I want to make sure I at least cover the topics
Oh,
I
yeah.
advertise. You know what I mean? Like Washington.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely. So I work from home. I love it, and it's not hard. It is not hard to find a remote job. You can go on LinkedIn, you can go on Indeed, you can go on ZipRecruiter. It will have in the title recruiter remote. You can put it in the search engine remote jobs. Um, my biggest thing, do not pay somebody to look for a job for you that's remote. Do not do that because it might be a scam. That's my biggest thing so far as remote work.
that's an interesting topic all by itself. Not the
Mhm.
remote, paying someone to find you a job. So a headhunter.
Yes.
I would love to talk about that more. Now, I didn't advertise that on that show, so we don't have to talk about that. But it seems like the higher up you go,
Hmm.
that's where that makes sense,
That's where that makes sense. That's
right?
the only
So
place that makes sense.
Yeah.
yeah, so like if you're watching this right now and you're a
Mhm.
fresher or you're just out of college, depending on where you are, what you're going to call it, but
Yeah.
you're recently graduated,
Yeah.
you don't need to pay a
No.
headhunter to find you a position. Especially like
No.
I said, I mean, you could just come live in my neighborhood and drive a mile in any direction and find a bunch of these entry level jobs. They're everywhere. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're trying to be a VP of finance
That's
or
a headhunter.
the,
Yes.
C, the CMO, right?
Mhm.
If you're
Mhm.
C suite, if you're probably department manager, maybe not, but anything above department manager. So district level, anything where that's where you start. That's where you're going to start getting these headhunters. And here's the thing that I've learned. Like I have a deal with ZipRecruiter. I make no I don't hide it. Like, so why go to Project Help You Grow? Here's a reason. You can go to Project Help You Grow. You can find every single job that's on ZipRecruiter because I have them all. And you don't have to sign up for a ZipRecruiter account and you won't get the ZipRecruiter spam. Boom, there you go. There's an advantage. Win-win. I win
That
because I
is
get
cool.
I
Yeah.
win because I get the traffic. You win because you get access. You don't have to have a ZipRecruiter account. You don't get the spam. There you go. But here's the thing that I've learned. Because again, I've been doing this now for 3+ years with Project Help You Grow. Those jobs, most of those jobs, the C-level jobs, those district manager type jobs, those aren't even advertised. They don't make job listings for those. You have to go through a headhunter anyways. A recruiter, a corporate recruiter knows about it. The headhunters have the relationships and they say, hey, when you've got somebody who meets this, call me, right? And that's how it happens. Jean, look at her. She's shaking her head because this is how it works. A lot of you guys haven't figured that out. You're like, how come I can't find any good jobs? Because the job you want isn't advertised. You have to go through a recruiter for those types of positions. So
You said it earlier. It's not what you know.
it's who you know.
It's
100%. 100%.
That's very true.
I may
It's
be
not what you
obnoxious and
know.
obtuse, but a lot of
My
people know
friend
me, and I
Foster
know a lot
Williams.
of people.
Do you guys know Foster Williams? Oh my gosh. Foster Williams is one of my best friends on all of social media.
Well, maybe I can get offended by him too.
I'm
Over
sure you
nothing.
can. I'm sure you can.
I can't believe
I
I did
want
that.
you guys to
Sorry.
reach reach out and connect with this. He runs a show called Who You Know.
How have I
Yeah.
not heard of this
He also is
before?
part of Frisco Connect. He was my very first interview on Project Podcast. He was the very first person I interviewed.
Foster what?
Foster Williams. Connect with Foster. He is amazing. He was a recruiter for AT&T when
I am
AT&T
at first with
split
him.
up. And so,
Oh, I know this dude. He's cool.
yeah, he's a famous recruiter.
Yeah.
But he educated me on the world of recruiting. Like, he gave it to me straight when I was starting Project Help You Grow. So I'll forever be indebted to him for the knowledge that he gave me. And a lot of people give me crap. Recruiters, recruiters like to give me crap too. They're like, "You've never been a recruiter. How do you know this stuff?" I'm like,
Networking.
First of all, I networked like a son of a gun, and I talked to a bunch of people. It's called informational interviews. And
I know a
Foster
lot of stuff about things I really shouldn't, just because
Foster
people talk. I
Williams is
listen.
one of those guys that I picked his brain. I'd already told you about Juliana Robbie. I mean, this lady has been a recruiter.
You know, I'm gonna go on try to pick his brain out, right, Ira?
You should. Foster
I'm
Williams,
going to.
super smart. And he connected with me.
If he
His
helps
part-
you get to where you're at with the recruiter stuff, I'm gonna go talk to him.
Yeah. Like, he's super, super smart. He's
No
a
shame in my
guy.
game.
He's a believer. I mean, he's like everything. He likes to eat. I mean, he's bald. This guy and me, we are good buddies. The only difference is he's like 70 and I'm 40. But anyways, there you go. Did you check out that guy that I was saying, Mike, earlier in the group? He's 80.
Yeah,
He's
I can't remember his name. Yeah, but I remember.
He's in his 80s. I'm gonna look it up.
Isn't that wild?
That guy's cool.
Some of these older folks, man, just blow my mind. You know,
He sent me a message too already. He sent me an in-mail, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna make a spot for that guy. I guarantee it. But his name is, hang on a second, I'm gonna pull him up.
I put Foster's link in the comments.
Yeah, you guys need to check out Foster Williams. I mean, 100%. If you don't know Foster Williams, you need.
He's got the Who You Know job networking show. I mean, even the title is Who You Know.
Yeah, well, and he's got a couple of partners that are on that show with him, and they're good too. Every one of them is from the Dallas Fort Worth area, so that show gets.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow his page. He's got 40.
Here's the other guy that I was talking about earlier. Story Gordon. This guy, I'm telling you, this is to Mariella's point. I mean, 1,000,000%, Mariella.
Yeah.
Foster Williams is not a spring chicken. And he's been a victim of ageism too, by the way, right?
So that's probably why he does what he does.
He does what he does, exactly. And Story, this guy's got a career. I mean, you just got to go through this thing.
Here's the thing, right?
He reached out to me. He sent me a private message. I made a comment. I shared it. Mike knows I shared it. Mariella, I shared it in the group message. In this group that we have, right? Mm-hmm. I shared it right here. Yeah. You guys followed him. I reached out to him in the comments and said, hey, I just want you to know it's been great meeting you here. I shared your info with a few of my friends. They're going to follow you too. And then he sent me back. He checked out my profile. He said, man, it looks like you and I are going to get along famously. And I'm like, I feel the exact same way. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about Foster. Like,
I just sent him an invite.
Imagine how many people this guy could help. He's been around the block. He said, this was the comment that caught my attention. He said, Ira, I haven't been out partying in New Year's Eve in over 50 years.
50 years, yeah.
I said, sorry, I'm not even 50 years old yet, man. Imagine what you could teach me. And that's what Mariella is talking about with her idea. It's like, imagine if you could pick the brain of a 65-year-old person who's doing what you want to do or what you are doing.
There's an encyclopedia of information.
So, somebody who did it for 45 years probably could teach you a few things.
Wealth of knowledge.
I was reading something the other day that a person in their 80s has had as much information as like 16 Wikipedias stored in their brain. Something like that. Something crazy.
I was actually thinking about Betty White today, not to bring this conversation down at all, but I was thinking about her today because she was just a couple weeks shy of 99.
I'm gonna have a drink for Betty later.
Oh, yeah,
I don't.
So January 17th, she would turn 100.
Yeah. So think about it this way: she was born. I mean, I'm gonna mess up the math because she was 99. So does that mean she was born in 1922? I think that's what that means, right?
Yes.
So she was born in 1922. So she saw from 1922 to to 2021, and
I mean,
everything. I was trying to think about
both
that.
world wars.
I'm like, yeah, but even before that, she saw the stock market crash. She
The-
saw the Great Depression. She saw FDR, the only 4-term president. Well, he's like 4 terms, right? She saw the both world wars. She saw the dropping of the nuclear bombs. She saw Korea,
Isn't that
Vietnam.
just amazing?
But she didn't stop there, right? Like you're thinking, okay, everything's in old black and white footage. She saw all the new stuff too. She saw both our things in Iraq, both the Afghanistan's. She saw Bill Clinton and Barack Obama and both George Bushes and Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
She saw
Oh, stop it! Now you're making me feel old.
she
'cause
saw
I-
the governor, right? She saw Arnold Schwarzenegger, the bodybuilder, turn into the governor. I mean, come on, man. I mean, this lady in that 100 years. Imagine, talk about. Would you say 18 Wikipedias?
Yeah, there's 16. I don't know for sure.
Whatever.
Some
Whatever that
guy,
is.
some guy right now
Anyway.
is googling it to make me feel like a jerk.
Betty White, her lifetime spanned an incredible amount of history,
Half American history.
pop culture and otherwise.
America's only 200 something years old, dude. 220 years. You know what I mean? Like 240 something. Yeah.
Could you imagine if you had got the opportunity to sit down with Betty White last year and pick her brain?
No.
The stuff that she could have taught you on just about any topic because of how long and how much experience that lady had. And by the way, she was still sharp as a whip and funny as all
Mind
get-
blowing. Mind
all
blowing.
get out. She was funny. Like
Yes.
some people are paid to be funny, but they're not really funny. They can just read the lines. She could make you blush. She could make young men blush still.
I met a lady that wasn't even famous. I was dating this girl about 12, 15 years ago, and her great grandma or somebody was there, and she was 95 years old. And this is during my MMA days, right? So like I had a fight coming up with against this stud, like this dude, Phil Amos, they call him the silencer. He was just muscle on muscle. And I was really skinny when I was 205. And this 95-year-old lady started giving me trouble about my deltoids and my arms. And she's like, you're going to get beat up, noodle man, you know? And I start going back and forth with her. 95 years old, okay? This lady's seen everything, sharp as a whip. And going back to the ageism thing, think about it. Like you're, against people that are in their 50s or 60s looking for a job. But there's people out there twice or 1.5 times that age. They're still sharp as a whip, right? And like you're gonna eliminate somebody that could bring so much to any organization. Not only that, right? And just people, right? Like they could help you outside of your company with so much more wisdom than somebody who hasn't been around the block. Like it's the one thing, like when you see like a young influencer, right? Like I'm an influencer, but I'm 22. It's like, dude, you're not an influencer, man. Like, no
You're
offense.
popular. You're just popular.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're like a Jake Paul. I mean, he's an influencer. He's got millions of followers. He changes the way things are done. You know what I mean? There's a few out there, but 99% of the people out there calling themselves an influencers, they're just not. Any 95-year-old person that's still sharp as a whip is an influencer. I guarantee you. It doesn't matter how many followers they have.
Well, let me tell you, this guy right here is one of my influencers. He actually, in full disclosure, he pays me. Okay, I run social media for his company, but this dude, we talk every Wednesday for an hour.
I feel sorry for him.
I know he feels sorry for you because you talk to me for free, but but Brad Smith is one of these guys. If you don't know Brad Smith,
yeah, he's a cool guy.
He is super intelligent. Maybe one of the smartest people that I know. And his depth of knowledge and how fast he can get to the root of a problem and give you an idea on how to fix it. And he has a heart to help people too. Like, this is a guy that I call an influencer. It's not all about, how many people you're connected to. I think his network is 15,000. So it's not like he doesn't have any connections. He has a decent sized network. But the fact is, he's an influencer because when you talk to him, if you let it, it will change your life. All you have to do is be transparent. You don't have to put on airs. Just be real. Here's what's really going on, the good. Here's what's really going on, the bad. And this guy will come at it from life experience. And he has coached thousands of people over his career, not just hundreds or
So he
tens.
knows those
Yeah, he
15,600 people.
He didn't just jump into business yesterday, and he's coached people. This is his claim to fame. He helps people add an extra 0 or 2 to their net worth.
All right, I got to talk to this guy.
Seriously, why doesn't everybody want to talk to this guy? Like it's the same question I have about SPN. Same question I have about Project Help It Grow. Same conversation I have with people when they tell me they don't want to be on all the platforms. Like, I get it that you don't want to hang out there, but you don't even have a profile?
I have to add something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think that it's not that they don't want to be. I don't think that they know how to be.
Well, no, I talk to people. They're like,
They're
I'm
resistant.
going to tell you this: if you want to get controversy on LinkedIn, the fastest thing to do is not mention COVID-19, which I did that today. Which I don't necessarily recommend that. You know, there's a lot of people that have passion about that.
You know what though? I'm a passionate guy about that, and I tried not to, but I did. I gave a few people a couple snarky comments.
Well, but and I knew that was going to go. I even put it in. I put it in the post like, "Be nice," because
Be nice.
But
yeah,
here's
people are going to see that.
That's nothing compared to say the word Facebook on LinkedIn in a post. Say anything nice about Facebook, and you will get like 1,000 comments on why Facebook and Zuckerberg is the devil.
Hey,
like,
should I just go make a post that says Facebook is better just to see what happens?
Yeah,
do it.
And tell people there's 3.89 billion users on Facebook and there's only 760 million on LinkedIn, and they'll be like, I don't know.
Hey, but there's 19,000 on SPN.
And then tell people that there's only less than 30%. Less than 30% of those 760 million people are actually from the United States. You don't want to talk to anybody that isn't from the United States, but you're on a platform where only 30% of the users, less than 30% of the users are actually from the United States. And there's not even a fourth, 25% of the overall volume as there is on Facebook. You can't make a case not to be on Facebook other than the fact it's your personal preferences. And I get personal preferences. I do. But the fact is, if you're thinking as a producer, which you should be, then you got to go where the people are that you're looking for, not just where you feel comfortable. And since when do we only do business with people that we agree with everything on? I mean, think about that. That's kind of naive. Like,
I don't agree with anybody. You're all welcome on SPN.
I'm going to tell you something. I don't know who owns any of these companies that I buy stuff from, and I don't care. I don't care who they vote for. I don't care who they sleep with. I don't care who they've slept with in the past. I don't care if they pay their taxes or they cheat their taxes or, you know, where they have their corporate shells, blah, 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 blah. I don't
as long as they like the Raiders.
Well, no, not even that.
Right.
I go to a church. Look, I go to a church. You guys know church is a big part of my life. If you're watching this and you don't know that, I go to church 3 times a week. I volunteer. A church. I have a bachelor's degree in the Bible. I love church. Okay, I go to a church. I'm a lifelong Raiders fan. I've been rooting for the Raiders since I was 5 years old. The pastor and the assistant pastor of my church are both Denver Broncos fans, and I hate the Denver Broncos. Like, hate the Denver Broncos more than anybody but Kansas City. Anyways, which is funny because my dad's family's actually originally from Kansas City. But there you go. I hate them because I'm a Raiders fan. But I still go to that church. Why? Because it's a good church and it's the closest one to me that teaches and preaches what I believe, right? Like there's closer churches, but they don't fit me. So there you go. I don't care. Like I can separate who I do business with. My wife is the only person I go to bed with. You understand what I'm saying? Like her and I need to be on the same page. Everybody else, like I can separate my politics. I can separate my religious beliefs. You know, my brother happens to be gay. I'm not gay. So he's friends with a lot of people who are gay. They reach out to me for help with their business stuff. I help them.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like
you don't discriminate.
No, not at all. It's the same moronic logic of the people who won't hire people because they're old, or people who won't hire people because they're not white guys or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's all bad. Discrimination in any form. I can't think. I don't even discriminate against Broncos fans. I tease them a lot, but you know what I mean. I'm just saying that if you're not doing business with a company, or you know, because you don't like what the CEO has, and make no mistake, Mark Zuckerberg is a schlimeball. Everything I know about him, I think he's slimy, and he has not hidden the fact that he was trying to get everybody's data. Like that's why he built Facebook, was to
Oh,
get
he's terrible. He's
Right.
terrible.
But at the same time,
That's why I made
we can
SB
use
a lot of it to do with it. I was like, I'm looking around, and I'm sorry to sidetrack you, but like, I'm sorry, Mark, but part of the reason why I made SPN is because I don't like you.
Yeah.
It's like I don't like the censorship. I don't like. There's a lot I don't like. Look, first of all, let's
I
keep it
can't
real.
post jobs on there, Mike.
Okay.
Project Help You Grow. I can't have anything, not my blog, anything with projecthelpyougrow.com. It won't let me post the links in there.
Yeah.
Even
Me neither.
in the show, look, I'm live on Facebook right now. They could turn me off, but they won't because they like
They won't turn us off.
engagement I create. But here's the thing. If I put Project Help You Grow, like if I put a link in the comments right now, that link will bounce. That comment won't post. I'll get an error message here on StreamYard. It'll say,
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
I get, hold on one second. I mean, can I even say the word pedophile? I don't like them, right? And I get in trouble every time I say something about I don't like pedophilia. Like, it's weird. I have a few friends.
If you hurt kids, we can't be friends.
I mean, like, I was an MMA fighter, right? I hope I never have to punch anybody in the face ever again, unless it's a pedophile or a Nazi. I will gladly do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like skinheads. I don't like pedophiles. Those are the two people I don't like. You know what I mean? Other than that, we can get along. If you're not a racist bigot or somebody like that, or like you touch a kid, like I was molested as a kid. I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never going to be silent on that.
This is where I'm at, right? I can turn the other cheek when you're hurting me, and I do it all the time. People come at me from it seems like every different way. But if you hurt a child, you and I can't be.
Don't get me started on this Maxwell thing too, because she cut a deal and she's not hanging from a rope because she's keeping her silence, right? There's so many different things. Like, why? There's so much, dude, and it goes up. I mean, look at Hollywood, for example. Don't even get me started. You guys, I made Service Professionals Network to help people, right? But my real big goal, besides ego, I already have a big ego. I don't need to prove my ego to anybody.
Well, you're 6'5", so you're allowed to have a big ego.
No, but like, I really want to change the world because, like, how do we allow people to get away with this stuff? And let me tell you something. If I ever have a multi-million dollars, and people are going to lose their mind if I say this on LinkedIn, right? But if you're a billionaire or if you have $100 million in the bank, you and I are not friends. Like, we're just not going to be. I'm a blue collar guy, right? If I'm sitting on $1 billion, I had an orphanage at one point that I, pretty much ran. I raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for 33 kids in Guinea, right? Like, I couldn't imagine sitting on billions of dollars. Now, don't get me wrong. On the flip side of the coin, when people are like, hey, let's go after Bezos, let's make sure they pay their tax. I don't care what they do with their money. That's their money. Like, like they earned it, they can do whatever they want with it. I don't have to like it. I'm not going to attack them about it. We just have different philosophies. And I just want to be the yin to the yang. You have an Elon Musk and he wants to fly to the Mars, right? Which is great. We probably need to get off this planet at some point, right? But why do we need to do that when we still have thousands of miles of plastic in the ocean? Why are we doing that when there's so many people that need to eat in this world? I mean, we live in the United States, right? The four of us do anyway. And, why am I walk outside my door and people are shooting each other or carjacking because there's no opportunity? And people are talking about systemic racism. Let me ask you guys a question. What do you think I'm going to do? Okay. I had no money. I lived on a couch and I raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for 33 kids in Guinea. What do you think I'm going to do when there's millions of people in the Service Professionals Network? I don't know if anybody's been paying attention, but like, I'm obnoxious, right? But like, besides Ira's the only person I've ever met that works harder than I do.
Yeah.
There are so many things that could be fixed in this world, but I'll tell you what breaks my heart. I live in California, and I understand that we have probably more than any other place because of our weather. However, you can't go to any urban, and Mariella could testify, you can't go anywhere without seeing homeless people. I mean, just everywhere. And if you've ever been homeless,
I have been when I was paying for Service Professionals Network. I had the site going.
Oh my gosh. It just breaks my heart.
Let me tell you.
When I see homeless kids, man, it takes me back to my childhood. I just can't. I can't deal with it, dude.
No.
I gotta get out. I gotta get out of there.
How do you send $1 billion when stuff like that's going on?
That's what I'm saying.
And don't get me wrong, right? Like my problem's not with the Bezos and everybody. I mean, I don't like it. It's not my preference, right? But my biggest problem is with the government, right? And if I go out and say something now with 45,000 followers, nobody's going to listen. But if I build a platform with tens of hundreds of millions of people, which I fully intend on doing in the next 3 years, right? You better believe. I mean, look at it. You guys can't get me to shut up and follow the rules now. What do you think I'm going to do when there's millions of people on my website?
You leverage it.
I'm going to tell everyone.
Yeah.
Why do you
You
think I
leverage
built
it
Why do you think I built my? I mean,
to change it.
Ira called me a couple years ago, right? And he's like, "Why do I want to network on LinkedIn?" Right? I didn't tell him at the time, but I already had a plan to build my own platform, right? And what's funny to me is so many people like to talk bad about me because I'm not an influencer or guru, right? But like, you know, not to be pretentious, right? But how many other people you know have built their own social media platform and have a developer like Jacob Warren and a developer like Ira Bowman and business people like Don Williams, Craig Wasselcheck. I mean, I could list. I have sponsors like, and people look at me like, "Oh, you don't make any money. You just look at my sponsors." I get paid from LinkedIn just to have people. I tag people. That's all I do, and they're not paying me because of my reach. They're not paying me because I already have those 10 million people. They're paying me because they believe in me. Think about that. You know, they're not paying me because of the value I provide. They're paying me because they believe what I tell them. And let me tell you something. I'm not going to fail those people. I'm not going to let them down. You know, if I get a couple million people on my website, I'm going to make good on everything I said. I'm going to cause a commotion. You know, and that's what I fully intend on doing.
Right.
Guys, so sorry. I totally spaced and I will be killed by my mother. It's 9:17 a.m. in Greece and they are in New Year's Mass and they are video calling me from the church.
God bless.
Happy New
Mariella,
Year.
Happy New Year, my friend.
Thank you.
Say hi to
And
Steve and Happy New Year to Steve for me too.
thank you.
You know-
And you and I talk in the next couple of days via video. I'll help you with that problem.
And, you know, I'm probably going to get going too.
Bye, Mariella.
Bye. Thank
I'm
you.
probably going to have to get going too, guys, because I'm driving my brother nuts, and my migraine that I've had for like 2 days is actually kicking up quite a bit.
Mike, Happy New Year, bro. It's New
I-
Year.
you know,
Yes.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate you, Ira and Jean. I really appreciate
Thank
you giving me this platform. I appreciate the logos. I appreciate you letting me talk over you and interrupt you so many times today and talk so much about Service Professionals Network. And please
shocked.
remind me in the morning that her name was Julia. We have to do a group chat. I have to apologize to her for getting personally offended, but I want to jump on that. I want to help that guy get going. You know, I haven't helped anybody in a while, so
we'll get him something.
well, I appreciate it. You know, Gene, you're definitely gonna have a lot more room to talk now that I'm getting my ass off here. I love you guys. I hope you have a good day. Thank you guys.
You guys take care.
Okay.
Ira, thank you. This has been amazing. You know, anything that I can do to help, just let me know. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know all about Project Help to Grow, so that's
Oh,
always there for you. And you know what I do at Bowman Digital Media. So if you need any help,
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
here,
you.
man. And
Thank
you know, you get positions that are open. Let's promote them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely. You know, I'm
Are you
all
looking
about.
for more? Are you looking for more clients?
That's the thing. I work for a corporation, so I'm not independent like I was before.
Okay.
Yeah, I was independent, and then I'm just like, I want a 401k, but I feel like I have a different calling. I have so much knowledge and experience to help others
Yeah.
not make mistakes like how I made,
Yeah.
and that's a whole nother topic, but you know,
You have
but
a
yeah,
big heart. You have a big heart. So people should reach out to you. Let's do this real quick before you
yeah,
go.
yeah,
I'm gonna
definitely.
pull up your. I just want everybody to see who you are and
Oh, yeah.
give them a chance to connect with you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Where are you
You
at?
know,
Network wise. Oh yeah, you got plenty of room to grow. So
oh, yeah.
here's what we're gonna
Yes.
do. Let's.
And,
Okay. So you're
I,
looking for Jean. You're looking for Jean. Here she is.
yeah, here
And what I want you to
am.
do, everybody, is. Oh, Kimberly's asking if this is still live. This is still live, Kimberly. You want to jump on? Come on.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Let's see. So reach out to Jean. I'm going to tag you. As
Yeah,
well.
and I the internet before I actually got on, and it was very intimidating, and it can intimidate a lot of people. It really
100%.
can,
100%.
So
This is still live, Kimberly. He's in New York, so it's
Oh,
2022. It's 2022 out there. She's an artist. I love that lady. She came on. She came
let's
on my
see.
show, my karaoke show, and she
Oh,
sang.
really?
Actually, she didn't sing. I think she's the only one who came on and didn't sing. But anyway, she was on anyways. But all right, y'all, reach out to Jean.
Yeah.
She is a corporate recruiter, but she's happy to help. Right? Answer
Yeah.
questions, help people avoid pitfalls.
Oh, yeah,
So,
definitely.
and you're on SPN already, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
they can find you on SPN too.
Yeah,
And there's a couple different ways that y'all can connect.
yeah, definitely. So
See, this is what I love about networking. Here's another person that I met solely online, and like mutual admiration. She did sing. See, that's right.
Oh,
We
she
sang, we sang together. We rapped. Didn't we rap together, Kimberly?
oh
Didn't we
my
do
goodness.
Beastie Boys? I think we did.
Where was I at?
I don't know. But I've done this show called LinkedIn Live. What was it? Karaoke Live on Saturday night with Ira. I think that's
Oh, wow.
I think that's what I
Happy
called
New
it. But anyways,
Year's.
so it's not perfect because when you go to like a karaoke bar and you sing, they've got like real mics with real soundboards and all that stuff.
Right, right.
And when we're doing it through the computer,
Mhm.
like there's a range. You guys probably don't understand this, but there's like a range in your voice that the microphone will pick up. Anything above it or below it, it drops
Right.
it out. It's like a
Okay.
filter.
Mhm.
And so when you're doing that and the music, then it's like, okay, well, it's one channel. So what's going to come through, the singing or the music, but not both? And
Right.
so I have to feel something like that. I think it was a Beastie Boys song. No Sleep Till Brooklyn, maybe. That's what's in my mind. But we
That's
had
so
like,
funny.
but anyways, like here's a relationship that was built. Like her and I, again, remember that thing I said? They don't always remember
Mhm.
what you said, but they remember how they made you feel.
That's
Like
right.
I know every time I see Kimberly that I like that lady a lot. She's
Right.
good people. And I
Right.
remember she has an artist community there in
Right.
New York. And
Right.
so she had asked me, we were talking about collaborating.
Mhm.
I can't remember if it was a networking event or what it
Mhm.
was, but I'm like, yeah, I'm willing to help you do whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I'll do that for her. So, all right.
Yes.
Any parting wisdom you want to leave the folks with?
You
It's coming
know,
on. It's coming on 11:30.
it's 12, almost 12:30 my time. So
Oh my goodness!
just, yeah.
It's Happy New Year's to you.
Thank you. Thank you. You too, because I'm about to jump off, but ask. Ask questions.
Yeah.
Reach out to people.
Yep. 100%.
It does not hurt. It does not hurt to ask at all. You know, I can't stress that enough because I was once there and did not reach out to anybody. And I was like, No, reach out, make those connections with people. There's nothing wrong with that.
My
Nothing.
whole world changed because I met Mike O'Connor. And I've helped so many people since, right?
Right.
It's just another domino. And
Right.
like I met you,
Yeah.
I've now introduced you to those people, and
Yeah.
you could change their life. And it's just
Yeah.
that's
That's networking. And
that's
there's
the
nothing
power of it.
wrong. Yes.
Yeah.
Networking is so powerful that you don't know who somebody might know. Period. You know.
Well, and that's the thing. If you ask a question and I say, "Hey, it's not something I'm interested," I actually had this happen the other day.
Yeah.
Somebody reached out to me and they're launching an app,
Hmm.
and they asked me if I wanted to like do affiliate sales for them. So it's like, okay, you sell it and people sign up, and
Right.
then we'll give you a
Right.
percentage of it. And I'm like,
Right.
I don't do that. And they
Yeah.
were kind of thrown off at first, but then I explained why.
Right.
I think I just saw your cat's tail.
You did. You
That's
did.
funny. You
I'm
have a
sorry.
cat that isn't like in your face. Well, no. What's funny is like usually when people have cats, they're all in their face the whole interview.
Oh no. She knows better.
You've got a trained cat. That is awesome.
Yes.
So what I explained to them, I said it has nothing to do with the validity of your product or my relationship with you, because I actually really like this guy. And I said, here's the thing. the apparatus that I've built, and I just walked them through how it works. And it said, I don't have a good apparatus to do what you're asking me to do. If I was to take this on, I think it would be a disappointment for you and it would frustrate me. I said,
Right.
there are people who are better suited to do what you need.
Right.
And, that was the advice I gave. So it wasn't that I was like diabolically opposed to it. It just
Right.
started
There she
flowing.
is. There she is.
Oh, she's like, it's 12:30.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly what she's saying.
But, I was able to give that guy
Yeah.
a few leads.
Yeah.
People that were better suited to do what he needed, right?
Right.
So if he hadn't
Right.
asked me, he wouldn't
Right.
have got the leads.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Closed mouths do not get fed.
somebody
say
said
that.
it, and I think it was Wayne Gretzky, but I'm not sure. One of the famous sports people said that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right.
So take your
So-
shot, folks. Ask.
Shh. That's right.
Yep. All
That's
right,
right.
Gene. Well, thank you so much for joining.
Take care.
Happy
Yes.
New Year, and
Yes, you
I look-
too.
I look forward to networking more with you.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Take care, Ira. Okay, it's time. I know. All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
All right, everybody. 30 more minutes until the ball drops in the Pacific, right? Pacific time zone. I know if you're watching this from Utah or Chicago, we've had people from all over, but Happy New Year. I want to answer this. What do you do? So we had a few people on, Kimberly. We had Mariella on from business risk or business management. She does risk and fraud assessment. We had Mike O'Connor on from SPN. He runs a social media site called Service Professionals Network. And we had Damon on at the beginning of the show. Damon does, he's a founder of Exit Your Way, and they help businesses sell, or business owners sell their business when they're ready to leave. We had Jean on. Jean is a recruiter. She's a medical recruiter for a corporation. So she was giving some advice on recruiting and it's networking, and she's somebody that I've known for quite a while. Yeah, that's okay. Guess what? This show, 4 hours. Well, it's 3.5 hours long now. Got a half hour to go, but I am going to make the full 4 hours. Actually, I've been on 3 hours exactly. I'm looking at the counter. I started at 8:30 Pacific time. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to be cut off right as the ball drops. So there's a 4-hour limit to these LinkedIn Lives. So here we go. But Jean is a recruiter from Arizona, and she helps people in the medical industry find jobs. That's what she does. So in the last hour of the show, I made some promises to people when I launched the show. And I know for most of you, it's already 2022. So happy New Year's to all of you. But here's what I want to do. I want to help people do a couple things. I have a mission, an objective. I want to help you if you're looking for a foreign job. I want to do a deep dive right now. Right now. You're tuning in. You're in Australia. You're in Dubai. You're in India. You're in Europe. Europe's up again, right? What time is it over there? So I think it's 7:30 in the morning if I've done my math right. So everybody pretty much, but the East Coast, they're probably starting to fade away now, right? But most people are up. And so if you're anywhere outside the United States and you want to work inside the United States, or maybe you want to work in Canada, or maybe you're in the US and you want to work somewhere else. I actually know somebody who wants to work outside of the United States. He's in the United States. He wants to move abroad. Okay. I have a few strategies. These are vetted strategies by industry experts. Most notably, the number one source that I got my information from on this is Juliana Robbie. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to do a couple things. We're going to do some things. This is Jean, in case you've forgotten who Jean was. Okay, I'm going to go back to, now if you're not familiar with my website, let's just start from scratch so everybody knows what I got going on. This is projecthelpyougrow.com. It's just projecthelpyougrow and then add a .com, and you'll go there. Or if you just actually type in Project Help You Grow in your browser, it'll actually take you here anyways. Okay, The website's been around a long time. We've had hundreds of thousands of visitors since we launched in 2018. It's a very popular website, and it will help you out. It is 100% free to everybody. Now, one of the things that I haven't been doing lately, because I've been kind of busy as a business owner, is I haven't been doing podcast interviews in a while. But the very first podcast that you're going to see is by the lady that I'm talking about on the topic that I'm talking about right now. Find a Foreign Job with Juliana Robbie. This is an interview that if you're looking for a foreign job, you should watch this. I believe it's 7 minutes long, might be a little bit longer, but whatever it is, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is going to be time very, very well spent. Now, I actually recommend that you not only watch this. Let me do this real quick, though. I'm copying the link, and I'm going to post this. So there's a link to the YouTube video where you can watch that interview. You should watch it. Now, on Facebook, I cannot post any of the Project Help You Grow links. Why? Because Facebook doesn't like free philanthropy help for, I don't know what. I don't know. I can't explain why Facebook won't let me post Project Help You Grow links. They're anti-help, free help. I don't know. Whatever. They don't want people to find jobs. Not sure exactly what's going on there. But anyways, I have a blog. It's a little bit older now. This is not a new topic for me. This is something I've copied or I've talked about ad nauseum for years because it's the number one thing that I get asked about every single day. Somebody, at least one person, will ask me, Ira, can you help me find a job in the United States, or can you help me find a job in a place where I don't live? Okay. I want you to read this article because what I did is I took the information that I've gathered from Juliana Robbie over the years and put it all in one succinct article that will probably make your head implode. And I'm actually not even going to be on the screen. Well, maybe I'll do that. All right. Now, how to land a job in a foreign country. There's a few things. Here's the list. All right. First of all, being flexible. That means you might not get the exact job or the exact location you're looking for, but you're going to be flexible because your ultimate goal is to be in that country, not about a specific job or specific location inside it, right? So maybe you wanted to move to New York City and you found a job in Miami, Florida. Okay. Or maybe you wanted to work in San Francisco Bay Area and you found a job down here in LA instead. Okay. Right? Or maybe you wanted to be the level of job that you're at now, but the only one you could get was one step below it. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Be flexible. That's what she's talking about. She actually does recommend taking a step backwards when you go into a foreign country. Why? Because you don't know the language. You don't know the culture. The expectation level for the next step down is going to be lower. And the odds are you're going to still rock the job, but you're going to be learning all the other stuff. How to navigate the country, how to navigate, we talked about all kinds of stuff in the podcast, but, talk about like shopping and banking, and you're trying to learn a whole new place and you don't even know how to get there. Are you going to be taking public transit or driving and all these things that you have to learn? So it gives you a little bit of an opportunity to wow the people that you're working for, as opposed to underwhelming them at that same position. So taking a step back. Also, because you have experience, now when you go into interview at that lower level, you should wow them, even in the interview process, despite the communication barriers that you may have. Okay. Applying in multinational companies is the number one piece of advice I'm going to give all of you, especially right now in the area of COVID. Let me make myself bigger because I want you to see me. This is the linchpin to the whole advice I can give you. If you can get onboarded at a company where you don't need any sponsorship, location where you don't need any sponsorship, you're just easy to hire. You get internal. And let's say you're in, India. right? And you want to work in the United States. Well, maybe they have an office in India and in Silicon Valley or wherever, right? You go, okay, I'm going to work for you in India, but as soon as I get in, well, maybe not as soon as, right? Maybe you work for them for like 6 months or a year first. But then you start talking to the HR. Hey, how do I get a transfer to the office in Fremont, California, or San Francisco, California, or maybe it's, in Austin, Texas, the new Silicon Hills of the United States. A lot of companies from California are relocating to Austin, right? Wherever that's an idea that does take time, but will have a much higher success rate for most of you than just trying to get sponsored by a company who doesn't know you and you've never worked for them before. Okay. Another thing, and this is huge, and again, we've been talking about this all night, and a lot of you are falling down on this. Let me make this bigger again so you can see it. Networking online and in person. Now, if you want to work for a company in a foreign country, right now, it's really hard to go visit that country. But you can join groups on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Service Professionals Network, all over the place, on Twitter. There are groups that you can join. And what are you going to do when you join them? You're going to talk to people and you're going to start making relationships, building friendships. Get them to know who you are. Get to know who they are. Show them that you are a win-win mindset. You're not just selfish. You're not just desperate. Take the desperation out of this because, again, let me look at you in the face so you can see my face. If you come across as desperate, you've lost. People will shy away from you. They will back away from you as fast as they can if you come across desperate. But if you can come across as a competent professional who's friendly, who's helpful, you become a friend of theirs, now you might not even offer up to them in the beginning that you want to come to their country. You just become their friend. Then as you start to get to know each other better and talk more and more, you can open up about your intention of wanting to move. Maybe they can figure out ways to help you with that. You're going to get a lot farther with that strategy. I have actually done that for people that I have met over the years. They didn't come to me the first thing and say, hey, can you help me get a sponsorship? Because my answer to that is no, I can't. I don't know you. But I have made friends with people in foreign countries that after I've known them for a while and they've asked me, it's like, yeah, let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do. I'm just being completely blunt and transparent with you because that's what you need. Okay. The other thing is, and this is the way that she says it, make sure your CV, resume, cover letter are top notch. I'm actually going to say it a different way. I'm going to say it like this. Make sure you're using the format of the local area. If you're in India and you're using a CV and you're applying for jobs in the United States, that will not work. You need to make sure that you talk to recruiters in the local area and adjust your resume or your CV format for the area that you're applying to, because it's a dead giveaway when you're not doing it right. First of all, you're not going to get through the ATS systems, so you're shooting yourself in the foot. But also, you need to come across as a competent professional. This isn't just a whim. If you're a grass is greener on the other side of the planet kind of person, and this is a fantasy, then wake up. Because moving to another country is going to be hard. And when you get there, it isn't like it is in the movies. You understand? That's make-believe. There are poor people here in the United States. There are homeless people here in the United States. And if you get, a job in Toledo, Ohio, it isn't going to look like nothing like you thought it was going to look like because you were watching shows from Beverly Hills or New York City, glamour, right? There are real, and sorry if you're from Toledo, Ohio, is just an example off the top of my head. It could have been anything. You know what I mean? But you need to visit these places and make sure that it's really where you want to go. And here's advice from Juliana, which I love it. When you go to that place that you're thinking about relocating to visit it, to vet it, make sure you don't go there and live like you would a tourist. because that's not how you're going to live when you live there. So don't live in a hotel. Don't eat out every meal. Don't go to all the coolest places and see like a concert or movies or whatever. No, you know what you want to do? You want to rent a house or rent an apartment that you think you'd be able to afford if you were living there. You have to know what kind of salary you would make, know where about that job would be, and stay in that area. And then what you want to do is take the bus, take the train, get on the freeway, drive during commute hours, go to the stores, go to the banks, check out the schools, find church, all those things that you would do if you were to live in that place, so that you get a real taste of what it would be like if you get that job. Because what you don't want is to finally get the opportunity to move to that new place and get there and realize it sucks. Like all you who want to go to Canada have never seen snow before. You think it's great. You fantasized about snow. And then when you get there, you're going to realize something really quickly about snow. It's cold. It's really, really cold. And you have to shovel it. Somebody does. And it's gray outside. It's dark. Like look, people don't retire and move to the cold. They retire and get away from it. I'm just being completely honest with you guys. You guys, a lot of you have fantasized. You've created this fantasy in your mind that this is going to be so much better. And you don't realize that a city is a city and a job is a job. And there are struggles everywhere. I've lived in more places in the United States than most people in the United States have. And I'm going to tell you something I've learned about moving around as much as I have. Every place has good things about it, and every place has things that suck about it. Every single place I've lived. I've lived in Ohio. I've lived in Texas. I've lived in Utah. I've lived in California. I've lived in the Bay Area of California. I've lived in Southern California. I've lived in the central part of the state. I've lived in so many places. I've lived on the East Coast, the West Coast. I've lived in the Midwest, and I've lived in the mountain states. I have lived all over, and I'm going to tell you what, traffic everywhere sucks. It sucks. There's natural phenomenons everywhere. Earthquakes, tornadoes, snow, you name it, right? Hotter than hell down here in Southern California, and I lived in Las Vegas, Nevada for a long, long time. I'm telling you what, when it's 100 plus degrees Fahrenheit, 100 days straight, you're going to tell me anything but, oh, it's a dry heat. You're going to say, it's like I turned on the oven and somebody turned the blower on and I stuck my head in it. That's what it is really like, right? It's a cute thing to say it's a dry heat. Yeah, that's what the tourists say when they come and spend all damn day in the 72-degree air-conditioned hotel, right? They're not out there paving the pavement or putting in sprinkler systems or whatever it is that you do for a living, right? Life is real. Life is real. So if what you're chasing is a fantasy, let's make sure that it's reality, that what you really want. Because it might just be you just need to relocate somewhere inside your own country. You might just need a different type of job, or you know what I mean? That might be a little bit easier. So make sure you visit the place that you have dreamt about moving to. Like, for example, in my mind, I have made this thing that I would love to live in Australia. But after talking to Juliana Robbie and doing this for 3 years, now I know before I would ever move to Australia, I would need to first decide where I'm going. And then I would take my own advice. I'd be okay, we're going to go there. We're going to go there for like a month. We're going to rent a house and I'm going to live like I would if I lived there, not stay as a tourist. One of my good buddies, Kenneth, is in the house. Kenneth, Happy New Year, brother. He's in Texas. It's 2022 for my brother Kenneth. And Kenneth, if you don't know, I've been on for over 3 hours. 3 hours and 17 minutes according to StreamYard. I've lost just about everybody, which doesn't surprise me because at this time of day, it's New Year for everybody but me. Not really, because there's people in Hawaii, and it's not New Year's for them yet either. But if you're in the Pacific time zone or you're in Alaska or Hawaii, well, that's pretty much it. Everybody else, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have two maps up above me. I've got the globe, the map of the world right there, and I've got the map of the United States. And so there's like 5 states: Alaska, California, Nevada, Oregon, Washington. Yeah, there's 5 states that it hasn't turned midnight, right? So we're still 2021. And then that's pretty much it. If you look at the map, everybody else, the time zone, everybody else is in 2022. So happy New Year's to everybody. Here's a couple things that I wish for you guys. I wish that you have realistic goals, but they're hard to achieve. And I hope you push really, really hard to achieve them. Work hard. Without a plan, it's just a dream. But you can turn a dream into a goal. You can turn a goal into reality. Make a plan, work towards it. And when you come against, adversity or setbacks, don't stop. One of the ways that can help you accomplish your goals, and maybe you've never done this before, is get yourself an accountability partner. In other words, let somebody know what your goals are. You might not want to publish them all. Look, I've got 23 goals for 2022, okay? And 5 of them are personal and the others are business, professional goals. But the fact is, I've written them out and I've shared them with people. So I'm not going to publicly say what they all are because some of them, frankly, are none of your darn business, right? No, that's okay. But some of them are going to be really, really hard to accomplish. And I will tell you something. I did the same thing for 2021. I had 22 goals for 2021. And I didn't make them all. I didn't. But I tried. I tried really hard. And I don't feel bad about the ones that I missed. I wish I had got them. But, life is a learning experience. But the fact is, I never gave up on trying to hit those goals because I did what I just told you to do. I had made it not public knowledge, but enough people in my inner circle knew about them that they could ask me how I'm doing with it every once in a while. And I knew that at any moment somebody could ask me how I'm doing with these goals, and that helped keep me going through the adversity. Like I said, I just admitted I didn't hit them all. So, that doesn't mean you shouldn't set big, hairy, audacious goals. Have those things. Yeah. I mean, like I said, a lot of people say they have goals, but they don't ever put action to it. They don't make a plan to achieve it. You're not going to get there without a plan. But then your plan is going to require effort, right? If you could set a goal and get it without actually purposely trying to get it, then that goal was too low. You need to set your sights a little higher. But then again, I've always liked this expression, aim for the stars. And then if you only hit the moon, hey, you still hit the moon. That's pretty cool, right? Don't just aim at the moon because if you fall short, you didn't get anywhere. You know what I mean? So think bigger. Think much, much bigger. It'll help you. Okay. So back to finding a foreign job. We're almost done. So be flexible. Read this. Take a step back. Read that. And the thought behind it. Read it. Applying at multinational companies. Again, I think this is the biggest part, the linchpin to this, because there are so many companies that have offices in multiple countries, right? So find one of those companies that has an office where you are and where you want to be. And then that'll get you there. Okay. Networking online and in person. This is huge. Again, this is important for everybody, no matter what. Network. Who you know is so important. I lost my job in 2020. I have 8 kids. I have still a mortgage. I got to buy food for everybody. I'll just be completely transparent with you. It takes $1,000+ every month just in groceries to run my house because I've got teenagers that never stop eating. I got 10 mouths to feed. 10. I got kids in college. One of my kids was applying to college. They didn't know if they were going to get to go or not. Yeah. Still got to live life. Things happen. Okay. Now I'm going to have 3 kids in college next year. Went from 1 to 3. All right. So why networking? Why and how does that tie into me? Well, here's the thing. When I lost my job in 2020, instead of having to look for another job, I was able to launch my own business because I went in 2018, May of 2018, I had 1,440 followers. I had 1,520 connections on LinkedIn. So 100 people, roughly 100 people who were connected to me didn't even follow me because I was that uninteresting. But I changed my strategy after talking to Mike, and I understood that networking was important, like I'm telling you now. The same thing basically that he was telling me then. Networking is so important. So when I lost my job, so anyways, I started to grow in 2018. I went from 2018, by December of 2018, I got to 25,000 connections on LinkedIn. Life-changing. 100% life-changing. By February of 2019, I got to the maximum, 30,000, which is where I'm at now because it's the maximum. You can't have any more connections on LinkedIn than 30,000. Now I have 197,000 followers on LinkedIn now. Okay, 197,000. But in May of 2020, when I got laid off, I had 150,000 followers at that point. And I made a post that I had got laid off. And I mean, I'm just going to be completely transparent. I was angry that I got laid off because, first of all, I moved to Southern California for that job. And I was told that I was going to take the spot that I was taking to retire. That was my whole goal. I was replacing somebody else that I had known from the first time I worked for that company, ARC, twice. And the first time I worked for the company, I met the guy that I was replacing because he was retiring. I met him back then. So I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, right? I'll take over. I'll work there 20 years. I'll retire. Everybody wins. Well, then COVID happened. Business slowed way down and they laid me off. And that sucked. I mean, really sucked, but is what it is. I just got a message on Facebook. It's probably from my daughter saying, Happy New Year, but I'm just going to check that real quick. Poppers in 8 minutes. Oh, we're getting close. All right. So, anyways, let me finish this story real quick. I networked like a champion. Do you understand? I went from 1,500 to 25,000. From 25,000, the end of 2019, I had exceeded 100,000 followers. By May of 2020, I had 150,000 followers. So in 2 years, I had grown by 148,000 followers. Okay. Now, how did that set me up for success? Well, the day that I got laid off, I didn't have to panic because the very same day I got laid off, I got my first website build customer. Somebody paid me to build their website. Now, they didn't pay me a lot. They didn't need to. But that gave me the confidence to launch my business. And I had so many other people reach out to me that month. I'm a graphic designer. I'm a website developer. I'm good at social media. So Bowman Digital Media, that's what we do. We build graphics. We run people's social media, not people, business. We do business page social media management. We do search engine optimization. We do 6 services: photography, videography, search engine optimization, graphic design, website development, and social media management. Those are the 6 things that we do. I was able to pay all my bills in June. I was able to pay all my bills in July. I was able to pay all my bills since then, and I've made more money than I've ever made in my life. And it was because I networked. If you network correctly, it will help you accomplish any of your tasks, professional goals. I'm actually doing a TEDx talk to be exact. TEDx Wilmington, Delaware, in April 2022, which is now just 5 minutes away from me. Okay. I'm going to be teaching a lesson on how to accomplish all your professional goals using LinkedIn. This is something that people just don't pay enough attention to. Networking online. What specifically should you do if you're trying to find a job online? Let me tie it all up and wrap a bow on this show. Here's what you need to do. What you need to do is you need to get in the groups, find the people who are in your network, in your industry, in the area that you want to work. Find them, make friends with them. Don't ask them for a job. Don't come off as desperate. That's not how you're going to win friends and influence people. What you need to do is you need to act like a human being, be friendly, be helpful, show up in their posts, make friendly comments, reach out to them in groups, say, hey, I would love to talk with you sometime, but don't come across as desperate. Nobody wants to buy from the desperate guy. They want to help the person who's competent and friendly. So be that. Learn everything you can about the language. Learn everything you can about the culture. Learn everything you can about the company. Before you get the interview, I want you to come back to my blog page. Okay. So again, I would put this on. I would put this on Facebook, but I can't. But I can put it on LinkedIn. So here it is. Make sure you read this blog, How to Land a Job in a Foreign Country, because I will give you all the advice I'm talking about. When you read this, if you have specific questions, you can send me a direct message and I will answer it. Okay. But after you read that and you do everything I tell you to do, you're going to get job interviews. But when you do, I want you to go to my blog, because there's another blog in here that's going to help you win that interview. Win it. Because it is a competition, whether you like it or not. You're competing against everybody else that's applying for that job. And here it is. It's that funky green one. Okay. Read this one. Win the interview. I'm going to teach you in this interview 10 things. And here they are. I'm going to teach you how to find out the company history and the overview, the management style or ownership type of that company. We're going to talk about company culture, so you're ready for it. You're going to learn about the hiring manager, and you're going to do interviewer research so that you're not thrown by a loop for the questions that they will ask you. Who is the competition that they compete with? Because sometimes you're interviewing at the wrong place. The company culture doesn't fit you here, but their competitor might fit you better. Financial market. In other words, are they privately held? Are they publicly held? How's their stock doing? These are things you need to know. How stable is that job you're taking before you take it and move halfway around the country? You want to know about the annual revenue and the trend for the company. Again, this goes to stability. Questions for the interview. I'm going to teach you how to figure that out. I'm going to teach you about informational interviews so that you're prepared. And then I'm going to teach you how to figure out the salary and how to be ready to answer that dreaded question. How much money do you need to make to take this job? Because most of you short sell yourself in that, and that causes you to really hurt. Now, again, it's 11:59 here in the United States, in California of the United States. So in 1 minute, it's going to be Happy New Year's, and I'm going to sign off. But here's what I want to say to you all. Happy New Year. Don't let 2022 be a disappointment, because it doesn't have to be. This can be the best year of your life, professionally, personally, both. What do you need to do to make it happen is you need to figure out what you really, really want. Don't live in fantasy land. Don't live in pipe dreams. Figure out what you really, really want and then bust your butt to get there. That's what I did. Look at this. This is Bowman Digital Media. It's not a pipe dream. This is my company. It not only feeds me, it feeds the other people that work for me, right? I'm helping all the business owners. There's about 40 of them. that I help. Okay? I help them accomplish their professional goals. It doesn't happen by accident. 2022 is right now. Happy New Year, everybody. Even in California, it's officially 2022. So now is the first day, your chance to forget all the negativity. Oh, my wife's about to shoot a popper. There we go. Happy New Year. And she made a mess, but she'll clean it. My office cleans itself. It's a wonderful thing. Here we go. Right? It's what?
Happy New Year's.
Okay, that's live on TV.
I don't care. Oh, and
Oh, here we go. All right. Yay, they're shooting stuff at me. Happy New Year! Yay, there it is. We got some confetti and some mess. All right. Anyways, look, you guys have been with me for 3.5 hours.
You want to shoot them too?
Okay, we got another.
Everybody's got to shoot down.
Not at my,
She's
right at my-
shooting it right at you.
right at my face. There you go. Have 8 kids. They're all gonna shoot. Oh, I just got pegged in the head. Okay, but you guys are aiming it at my face.
Yeah, you gotta-
Stop. Just stop. There we go. Okay.
You got to shoot it up.
Yeah, don't. It's not a gun. You're shooting at my brain. Okay. Back to what I was saying. 2022 can be what you want it to be if you work hard and smart. And so hopefully the things that I've talked about today, networking. I covered networking ad nauseum for like a half hour. Marketing, how to market your business. I didn't cover that so much, but the power of networking will help you, whether you're looking for a job, you're looking for more clients, you're looking to increase your sales, you're looking for investors, you want to sell your book or get information out there. Mike, he's trying to build service professionals network, and he's doing a darn good job at it. And I do believe in him. I believe in what he's doing, and I love being a part of it. Why? Because the dude has a vision and he has a plan and he's working really hard to accomplish it. That's why, right? So if you want whatever it is that you want, then don't just talk about it. Don't just dream about it. Figure out an action plan. Make sure you talk to people, as I've talked about several times in this show, because it's been 3.5 hours long. Informational interview is something many of you may not have heard before, a term that you might not have heard of before. I actually do have an article on Project Help You Grow about that too. So you can read all about it. Now that article is catered to job seekers, but you can use it for anything. But basically what you do, the premise of it is you find somebody who's in a position that is a position that you want to achieve, or maybe they've been it before and now they're on to the next level, right? You talk to them, pick their brain. I gave some examples tonight, Brad Smith and I don't have all their names up, but Foster Williams and Story, a guy that I met today on LinkedIn. He's an 80-some-odd-year-old guy. I met him today on LinkedIn, right? New Year's Eve. So now it's New Year's Day. Happy New Year's. Anyways, my name is Ira Bowman. Thank you so much for joining me on this New Year's Eve special. It's, I don't know, maybe the only time I'll ever do this on New Year's Eve, but I thought, hey, this was the idea. COVID it's been a thing. And a lot of us normally would either have friends over or we would go out, maybe do something. But this year it just didn't feel like it was the thing to do to go out. So I'm here at home with the kids, and they were watching movies and now they're out there shooting poppers and having fun. And I'm going to go hang out with my kids. But I hope that this show helped you, whether you watched it for 5 minutes or you've been with me the whole time. And I promise you this. If you're online and you want someone to help you chase your goals, I'm here because I'm chasing mine and I'm chasing them for my clients. I'm not going anywhere. I get paid to be social on social media, and I love it. I love helping people accomplish their goals. One of the things that, I've had it in my profile since I created a profile, life is too short to be selfish. So if you want to get somewhere in life, Zig Ziglar said it. To get what you want, just help enough other people get what they want. And it's something that this world has kind of forgotten. There's too many takers out there. You have too many, entitlement issues. I'm not entitled to anything. I'm only here by the grace of God. Every breath I draw is a gift. But I will promise you this. I will do everything I can to work towards accomplishing something not only better for me, but better for everybody that I am involved with. That is why people cling to me. I'm not good looking. I'm not tall. I'm not rich. I'm not smart. I'm none of those things. I think I'm funny. But honestly, Kenneth is on the show. Kenneth is funnier than I am. He's got more humor in his little pinky than I got my whole body. Kenneth is hilarious. Anyways, you don't have to be the best at anything. You just have to try hard, not be a schmuck, right? And remember, social media is top of mind. So don't disappear for weeks at a time. You've all got a phone. My phone's actually been on the charger for 3 hours, so I haven't touched it, but it's fully charged. That's awesome. That never happens. Anyways, but we all have phones, right? So you can, again, I gave this tip the other day. It might be the last tip I gave before I sign off here, but somebody said, how do you do all the stuff you do on social media? I said, look, when I go to the coffee pot and I'm waiting for the coffee to brew, or this is a little bit gross, but bear with me. I'm just being completely blunt here. If I'm sitting down going to the restroom, I got my phone here, bro. I got my phone. I can respond to direct messages. I can respond to comments. I'm not calling you, but yeah, don't be a schmuck. Seriously, don't be a schmuck. Thank you, brother. Kenneth, you are the world's best liar, but I love you so much. This guy said I am gorgeously handsome, impeccably dressed. Well, I wear, look, here's a tip. My logo. My logo is everywhere. Branding, branding, branding. I don't have Bowman Digital Media underwear, but I have Bowman Digital Media socks. I have Bowman Digital Media shirts, blanket, coats. It's on everything. It's everywhere. It's on the show banner. It's everywhere. You know why? Because I want people to know about Bowman Digital Media. Look, even when it's like 50 degrees in California and freezing, I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay? If you're going to do it all the way. Sell out on your dreams. Don't think small, think big. Now, when I say that about the dream big, then make a lot of little steps to get there. I saw this great illustration. I think it was on Facebook. It said the difference between small steps and big steps, and it was somebody trying to go up a ladder. And like the rungs were like, 4 feet apart. And then the other one, they were like every 6 inches. And I'm just thinking, man, if I had to climb one of those two ladders, I want to climb the one with more rungs because it'll be easier. You know what I mean? I can go however many steps I want at a time. You don't have to hit every one. But on the big one, you got to hit every single one. And it's a struggle to hit every single one, right? Good luck with the beanie. Thank you. I actually wear this more than I wear my hats. But I'm not kidding. Oh my gosh. I'm so not kidding. I've got like 3 different jackets. I've got button-up shirts and these shirts. I've got bags with my logo on them. I mean, just everything. Everything is branded. Why? I've sold out. Bowman Digital Media. You know what I mean? I have 4,000. Actually, it's 4,100 now. Let's just pull this up real quick. I'm really proud. I almost made a post about it, but I didn't want to come off as bragging. But I'm super proud of this. I launched this company back in June of 2020. And since June of 2020, I've got 4,107 followers on a business page on LinkedIn. Right? That's just one of the things that I've done. But I'm so grateful that my company has taken off and flourished. And I'm thankful to everybody who supports me. But I'll tell you one of the reasons why they support me. Because I believe in it too. They wouldn't have believed in me if I didn't believe in me first. Even my own wife didn't want me to do this. She's like, that's not smart. We need that salary. We need that what she saw it as was a safety net. And I said, yeah, but we had that safety net. What happened? They just yanked it out from us, and now we have nothing. 100% of my revenue came from a job, and it did for 20 plus years. That's all we ever knew. In fact, I was scared to launch my own business before because I thought there's no way. How can I afford to live while I'm ramping up the business? That was always my thought. But then when I launched, I found out, oh my gosh, I can do this. I am going to do this. I did it and I continue to do it. But look, as I've done it, and I've been doing it since May of 2020. So I'm in my second fiscal year of running my own company. And like I said, now nobody doubts. I don't get that question anymore. Like, why are you doing this or who are you? You know, people come to me, they hear about it. The dream that you have in your mind and you're thinking you can't do it, you can do it. You just need to figure out how to do it. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to talk to somebody who's already done it. Remember when I was talking about the website launch of Project Help You Grow? When I launched my second website, which is actually just irabowman.com, super easy to remember for me because it's just my name, irabowman.com. That's my coaching site. I launched that in 2019. In 2019, I launched a coaching site. When I launched that, you know how much easier that was for me than Project Help You Grow? Because I'd already been down the road. I had already all those lessons learned. I did things faster. I built it myself. I didn't have to pay anybody to do it. I didn't have to, lean on anybody else's expertise. I was able to do it all myself. And then once I did that, it gave me the confidence to take over Project Help You Grow. I no longer had to pay somebody to maintain my site. I knew I could do it myself. And then I launched Bowman Digital Media in 2020. Again, I didn't have to pay anybody. I didn't have to ask anybody for help. I did it all myself. And then I started launching websites. I've launched over 50 websites now, 50 of them. I counted it up the other day because somebody had asked me, how many websites have you built? I've built over 50 sites now. It is amazing what you can do if you put your mind to it. But you have to be flexible. To Juliana Robbie's point, you have to learn and you have to be able to course correct and adjust and do all these things. You can't be unmovable force, right? You got to roll with it. Anyways, I think I'm babbling a little bit. I'm tired. It's after midnight. It's 2022. Look, this is what I hope for you. I hope you get whatever you're willing to bust your butt and work for. That's what I hope you get in 2022. Get what you're willing to bust your butt for. Let's get out there and bust our butts together. I'm going to tell you this. We'll get a lot farther together than we ever will apart. So if you want win-win networking, if you want somebody to help you on social media, I will help you with it. I don't care if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. I don't care if you watch this whole thing live or you're watching it after the fact. If you watch 5 minutes or you watch the whole thing, I don't care. The bottom line is this. I will help you on social media. What does that look like? Well, it could be in the form of comments. That's most generally where you're going to find me. I don't spend a lot of time in chat rooms. I don't understand chat rooms, frankly, because you could say all the same stuff in the chat room in a comment, and the comment will help the post get seen more, and the chat room won't. So why are we commenting and having these long conversations in chat rooms? That could be in the form of, maybe your business needs my business to help your business. Okay, we can talk about that. Not a problem. And I do favors for my friends sometimes too, just so you know. It's not always about money for me. It could be connecting you with somebody that you need to talk to. Maybe you need to know a recruiter, a headhunter, a lawyer, an accountant. I make videos and graphics and all that kind of artistic stuff. But, if you need somebody who isn't me, I know a lot of people. So maybe you need, access to my Rolodex. Okay. I'm happy to do that. Maybe you just need a sounding board. Someone to go, hey, I've got this idea, like Mariella. I've got this idea. What do you think? Let's talk about it. Okay. I'm here to help if you're here to help. But again, what I want for you in 2022 is whatever you're willing to go bust your butt and make happen. So you do that. You figure out what that is and you go do it. And I'll root you on every way I possibly can. My name is Ira Bowman. Thank you all. Happy New Year. And I look forward to seeing you again real soon. Thanks, everybody. bowmandigitalmedia.com.